I mean, fuck Missouri. If there were any state I would eliminate, if I were eliminating states, if like we're just like knocking states off, Missouri, your numbers up.
I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of how many Dakotas we have.
I think we got
You
too
can
many
do with one
Dakotas.
less.
I mean,
We're just gonna knock them down to one Dakota, much more manageable.
yeah, I know one person and her family that lives in North Dakota, and I'm pretty sure she accounts for half the population.
Yeah, pretty much.
Following is a list of words I never want to hear on TV again. Number 1, bra. Number 2, horny.
There are too many sexy old people.
Number 3, family jewels.
Then later they have part of the episode where somebody says all that in a sentence, I think. Alright.
I think one of his, letters was to Modern Bride magazine, and it's just like, when I look in your sick magazine, I don't see a single wrinkled face or toothless smile, but like, it starts with that, and then at the end it just says, to the sickos at Modern Bride magazine.
I mean, yeah. Put those people in their place. It's generally accepted that if you work for Modern Bride magazine, you're a monster. Just like, totally irredeemable.
Look at this guy doing squats.
That is really, I feel like for a gamer they put a lot of
This
effort.
might be the least lavishly detailed animation in the entire game.
Agreed. This is totally chunky. I guess it's like a pilot character. That is definitely the sitting sprite and the standing sprite.
I was really glad when I played FF7 Remake to see just the glorious HD squats everyone was doing.
And then the spoilers. Then you do the freaking pull-ups. It's like, wow, we've come a long way.
That owned.
And there's definitely a moose guy, too.
Like you do.
Pull-ups are superior to squats in every way that matters. Just
Wish I had
all
a pull-up bar. That would be nice.
It would be nice. I think you deserve a pull-up bar. I think you need to strike out against the cruel world that has not given you a pull-up bar.
I mean, I'm not owed a pull-up bar. I just haven't invested in a pull-up bar.
I believe you are owed a pull-up bar. I'm saying it. I'm going on the record.
Campaigning on universal basic pull-up bars.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge part of my platform.
I can see how this is important. That. What is the candidate's opinion on leg day?
Can't skip leg day.
Can't skip it. But that's just a gimme. That's a freebie.
So if anybody remembers where we were last week...
I do not.
Shevat? Something like that?
Yeah, good idea. We're up in the sky in Shevat, and these are essentially people being introduced as the resistance in a manner of speaking.
But mostly they just sort of float around.
Yes. But they're definitely against the people who we've identified as the bad guys.
Who also float around.
I mean, the character here literally says the word bad guys.
I don't want to make the bad guys pay for it. I don't got what it takes.
I do want to make the bad guys pay. I feel like the bad guys have crossed the line one too many times, and now they got to suffer for it.
Seize the means of bad guys.
I'm going to absolutely wreck the bad guys.
Shevat. It's a happy place. And it's also got good music. And there's dudes doing squats. It's all
Not enough people comparing it to pizzas, although you could totally see this part morphing from a rejected proposal for FF7.
This is also true. I mean, I do kind of wonder about the alternate universe where Xenogears did wind up being a Final Fantasy game and, like, you know, somebody shoehorned a Bahamut summon somewhere in here.
It would probably be a very difficult to recognize game.
I mean, I don't know exactly. Like, a lot of this is typical, in a manner of speaking, Final Fantasy nonsense.
Well, what I mean is, I don't think that it would look like this if it was a Final Fantasy game.
Fair enough.
If it was a Final Fantasy game, that one dude who draws all the Final Fantasy stuff would have done the art, and it would have looked significantly different, I believe.
At the time, they were kind of transitioning which artists that they were using, although it's also worth noting that for a very long time, like...
The guy who draws everybody, like, really thin.
Amano
like,
was an illustrator, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think you're talking about Amano, but Amano was an illustrator, but he actually didn't do a lot of the character designs. Like, him being character, like, designer, like, whose illustrations were worked from in any real fashion was more of a late Super Nintendo thing.
Yeah, and you could definitely see, like, did he do anything with Final Fantasy VIII?
No, he's got, like, Nomura is the character designer for 7, 8, 10. But, like, those are designs that were made and then turned into characters. Whereas, like, most of the characters in, like, FFs 1, 2, 3, I think even by 4, they were still doing a thing of a sprite is made and then Amano would illustrate his interpretation of that sprite as the official character art.
Makes sense.
Because the other thing you'll know about Amano's art, if you've ever seen it, is, oh, this is just completely impossible to capture in 8x8 pixels.
I mean, I do have to say, I remember going through, like, the Nintendo Power Final Fantasy VI coverage, and just being like, what character is supposed to be this? Wait, what, really?
Yeah, they do not line up with, like, the game graphics at all.
Like, it reminds me of...
They have an appeal, but they're not...
Oh yeah, no, they're very nice art. They don't look like the characters in the game. It reminds me of... There's that episode of fucking Aqua Teen, because let's just get that out of the way. We're going to do the Aqua Teen discussion. The E-Helmet episode, there's a joke where, like, Shake has this giant piano attached to his back, and he just says, it takes any MP3 and it turns it into this song. Like, it's just playing ragtime in the background. And he's just... The description there has always stuck with me. It will take any MP3 and turn it into this song. And it makes it sort of makes me think of, like, how Amano approaches character design. It's like he will take any character design and turn it into this willowy pasty person with a cape.
Yes.
I want to say Amano had, like, definitely three different... Like, there was definitely boy, girl, and, like, wacky character.
He was pretty, I say was, he still does designs, but a lot of his designs are pretty androgynous.
Yes.
Yes, like you say, boy and girl, I dispute that, because I've, like...
They're all very,
looking at stuff and going, so, like,
They're all very femme-looking, regardless.
Yeah. I believe I described them when I was doing the, ill-advised, other boxes posts.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm just going to say this on stream that will be posted talking time. Within hours, my primary goal was just piss people off.
I can't believe that you would be doing things just to piss people off.
Who exactly I was going way out of my way to piss off will remain a mystery. It was Diplo. But,
wow.
But the Final Fantasy ones, I believe I described them as these emaciated undead motherfuckers.
They're very nice drawings, but yeah, like, it always bothered me how much they didn't resemble the characters. It's why, like, one of my biggest issues with FF5... One of my biggest issues with FF5 on GBA is just, like, I hate having the the Amano portraits next to the character, to the dialogue, because it's like that. It makes it so much more obvious, because it's like the character sprite is on screen and it don't look single thing like that portrait.
And, you know, Final Fantasy V was the first one that I thought of when we were talking about... I understand that his characters are androgynous, but I do feel like...
There's more differentiation.
But I feel like Ferris comes off as masculine, which is obviously very deliberate in Amana's illustration, which I feel like vaguely enhances the character. Cause
I would think he was actively thinking about it in that, whereas I think a lot of times he's not super thinking about it.
Fair enough.
Which is not like an insult. I just think that like he has an approach that he prefers, and I think oftentimes he's not super like gendering the style of drawing he's doing.
Yeah.
But with a character who is so much about like an approach to gender, like it was more in the forefront of his mind. So. Yeah, it's kind of a cool floating city in the background.
You know, you got your cool floating city, it's fine. It's neat.
Let's all talk about the Grand Stream Saga.
Must we?
I don't think anyone but me played it.
Are we required to?
We're not required to, it's just something I think of when I think of weird floating things. On the PS1.
We could talk about Grand Stream, or we could talk about Choo Choo Land, home of the Choo Choos.
No, I think I'd rather talk about the Grand Stream Saga, believe it or not. Also, Choo Choo Land sounds like it's constantly at war with Plu Plu Land.
Why wouldn't they be? They're fighting over...
Choo Choos and the Plu Plus are just...
They're fighting over Choo Choo rocket technology.
Oh, man. Nezumi Ataske.
It's the greatest technology.
Choo choo rocketto nezumi o taskeru, choo choo rocketto neko wa kawaii, choo choo rocketto tsugoi.
So I'm going to throw this out because at some point I think it becomes like literally the point of a scene, but this is where they kind of first allude to it. But I love that Xenogears has the background information that the canon plot is that before humanity crash landed on Earth's planet, the dominant species was Choo Choo. And it's just like...
Terrifying.
I don't know if this was ever just supposed to be something kind of cute, or if this was, like, intended of, like, basically Xenogears crashed into, like, Care Bear Land and accidentally screwed it all up for 10,000 years.
I mean, there is a subplot in Chrono Cross that's about how humans existing is destroying things, so...
Yeah, no, it's very much similar to that.
So I would assume that I would interpret it through the lens of that game.
But
which
yeah,
many subplots are pulled from Xenogears into that.
The thing that sticks in my mind in Chrono Cross is that they make a big point of that, but they make a big point of that with the gnomes. And the gnomes are just consistently...
The gnomes are screaming at you
dicks.
for forcing them to commit genocide.
Like, they're just terrible.
I mean,
I've never been certain on what level of literalism to interpret that. On. I think I usually err on the side of I think you're supposed to take what they're saying mostly seriously, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, no, I think you're supposed to take it seriously, and then they roll out a tank to kill you. Like...
They roll out this smog-belching tank while screaming at you about how you've destroyed the environment.
You know, it's vaguely concerning. Like, it's definitely one of those...
If only you hadn't forced us to commit genocide against all these fairies.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, like, what was the basic thinking there?
It's such a confuse. There's not a lot that the game actually gets into it, so like you're just left with this very confused like story, and like it becomes difficult since there's so little to interpret from it. It's difficult to tell how literally it's meant to be taken.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I got there the first time in Chrono Cross, I'm thinking like, oh, the real plot starts here. This is where they're going to get into a big point about you know, how that works and whatever.
And that's the only place that plot comes up.
Well, I mean, it kind of comes back when they're talking about, like, Lavos and, you know, the dragon god, and the dragon god was of nature and blah blah blah, but by and large, they don't get back to it.
I love the, like, a literal point of the plot in Chrono Cross is that a future human city based off of computers and a future, like, dinosaur city made out of interlocking dragons both enter the dimension that the game takes place in to do some sort of weird cosmic battle while floating in the sky.
Well, and also that they distinctly went back in time during the period they both got pulled back into a period of basically the Ice Age, which is wonderful because it's like it's this excuse for literally nothing's going on the planet except for two gigantic future civilizations are fighting each other.
Like that concept is incredible, and if there was like a stronger narrative to tie it together, I'd be all over it.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a weird level of, I don't know if the word I'm looking for is purity, but just the idea that there's entire galactic battle occurring on the planet while you know literally all of human civilization is hanging out on one stupid island.
I guess the way I would describe it is that it is something that is clearly made by someone who believes in the concept that they've put forward.
Okay.
Like, there's no point in Chrono Cross where the game is winking at you. Like, it believes 100%. Like, it is made by someone who 100% believes in what they have created.
Yes, no, that is one thing you can never say about Chrono Cross, is that it doesn't take itself like absolutely seriously. Which is just like you are dealing with a giant blue frog dragon, and yes, he is supposed to be the living embodiment of an element and is telling you good life advice or something like that. Like, this is happening, it can't unhappen. I mean, maybe it was a side effect of, like, translations of the day, but I just feel like you do not get that kind of seriousness in the video games anymore, at least anything with a long-ass script.
I'm just remembering the boss that they just literally named Son of a Gun.
Son of a gun.
Well, it's a sun. What did you want?
It's literally a sun. It's spelled S-U-N of a gun.
Ah, son of a gun. That's different.
That's a really strange fight.
It is. It sounds like it.
Well, because like a lot of things in Chrono Cross, it seems like it's kind of referencing something that happened.
It's vaguely referencing Son of Sun, but it's not actually related to Son of Sun.
Okay, so we've had time talking to the various denizens of Shevat. We've listened to the happy little music. I think it's time to advance things or something. We've spoken to the Choo-Choos who talk about their giant Choo-Choo god, which oddly enough, the Choo-Choo god will become plot relevant shortly. Because of course it will.
You don't bring up a god in like an RPG if you aren't going to have it be relevant in some fashion.
Oh yeah.
I think the only thing that gets away with that is Dragon Quest, and it's because like the church is always where you save. And even then, the god is sometimes relevant.
I was about to say, and occasionally you fight the god as a final boss or secret boss.
I always appreciate the. There's at least one.
Quest, I think is. Sorry, go on.
There's at least one Dragon Quest god that you fight just because both you and God think it'll be fun, which is a very Dragon Ball attitude.
That Toriyama influence.
I mean, legitimately, I have no problem believing that there would be a god that is bored and is like, oh, you think you can fight me? All right, we can do this.
Physical exertion is fun. Fighting can be fun.
Been a while. Like, I believe that this god would, like, revive everybody after he, like, you know, obliterated them, but other than that, it'd be like, alright, we can give this a shot.
I think you've just invented Valhalla.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we could fight again, can't we? Just
How long of timeline we're all doomed to reinvent the Norse afterlife?
I don't feel
It's
like
just
that's
one of
true.
those- I think it's true. I have yet to see any evidence that it's not true.
But the question is that given enough time, will we invent the Lost Vikings all over again?
I would believe
Only if someone is either promoted or fired for the name Norse by Northwest.
That was immediately what made me think of it.
How is that the real name of that video game?
One day I want to do a countdown of video game names that are, like, vaguely ridiculous.
Where does Yanya Kabalista featuring Gamu fall here?
I mean, like, anything in the... Like, there's ridiculous, like, Norse by Northwest, and then there's things, like, you're supposed to take somehow seriously, like, Undernight Late.exe or whatever the hell's going on.
Undernight in birth exe late CL-R.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't know how that got past anything. Like, Melty Blood I can deal with. Like, that's good. That's the scripted.
How do you feel
Gets
about
you
Melty Blood Actress Again current code?
I mean, at least Melty Blood's there. That's the important part.
I mean, at that point, you're just fucking with me, right? Like, you made that shit up. Wow. Really?
I would never make up a video game.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No
like,
matter how many times I've been accused of making up an obscure video game.
It's definitely the kind of situation where you could do 10 and, like, guess which ones were actually made up.
And of course, my answer would be to always have no made-up games.
Exactly. They're all real. Gengekko Fighting Climax.
Oh, Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax?
Excuse me, yes.
Can't pick on, like, the anime fighters for too much. There's still plenty of non-anime fighters with bad names.
Yeah, no, I just happened to get on a kick with remembering Melty Blood exists.
When's Melty? Are you ready to have a tournament in your place of business's bathroom?
Where's Maria? I'm sure I'm supposed to talk to Maria. Where'd you get to?
Had someone reference hurdy-gurdy at me a few days ago just to get me to get upset about hurdy-gurdy. I hurdy-gurdy myself today to see if I still feel.
I don't believe we necessarily have the right to get upset at hurdy-gurdy because that's the actual name of a very stupid instrument. Very awesome.
Yeah, that's not. There are no hurdy-gurdies in the game hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, well, in that case, what the fuck?
Because the game is a game where you herd animals and your character is named Gurdy.
Oh. Hurdy-gurdy. Wow, I hate it.
It's made by Core Design, the Tomb Raider people, right before Tomb Raider: Angel of Darkness.
Well, that's a
bad
story.
time for them.
That's a sad ending right there. There's not a happy ending to that story. Didn't Angel of Darkness basically kill the company?
Yeah, basically.
Sucks.
I mean, like, it sucks that a lot of people probably lost their jobs, but also their legacy was shit like Rick Dangerous, so. And Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of titles that it's like, are we certain this actually happened?
Oh, hey, I forgot they made BC Racers. That game's terrible. And based on BC for some reason. Comic strip.
Wait, the aggressively Christian comic strip?
No longer aggressively Christian since Johnny Harp died, but yes.
Huh.
So what's it about now? I mean, other than
like, what else is there? I mean, like,
Just caveman.
If you're gonna continue that legacy, it seems like, seems
We're
like...
just lucky that they eventually gave the women characters actual names.
I mean, okay.
There was a period where their names were things like Fat Broad.
I just sort of assumed they had names. I just never bothered to learn them because I didn't give a shit. But
there was a period where they were officially just named like sexist fucking descriptions.
Huh.
this is...
I mean, I get that he wants it to evangelize, but he is not making Christians look good right now.
It was about
He
to
didn't
say...
really get super Christian until late in his life. He was in like... The comic started like 30 years before he died. It wasn't until 10 or 30 years that they got super Christian.
He got super Christian. Which was odd in a comic about the literally
Cavemans.
BC. I want this dog to do something, but I guess oh, there it goes.
That is a very weird. That is a very weird place to have to do it. Yeah.
It kind of signals the fact that it did not start with the intention.
Yeah, like this wasn't the original idea. This is just sort of where it happened.
Yeah. I've still got Simpsons on the brain, so now I'm thinking of one of the most like
I won't stop
horrible, succinct descriptions of any comic strip. Just
because I can't stop you physically. It's not possible.
Yeah, you won't stop me. So there's just an episode where like a couple are arguing in front of him, and Homer just says, "You know what you two need? A little comic strip called Love Is. It's about two naked 8-year-olds who are married." That is accurate.
That's an accurate description, and I don't like it. You ever like hear something and you're like, yeah, no, that's totally true, but also I wish it wasn't.
Yeah, no, I absolutely wish that wasn't.
I'd like it to not be true. Could we like dial back the truth of that? Can we make that a lie retroactively?
Like we as a species, can we all agree to make that fake?
Can we just come to the conclusion that it's really good for that to not be true? We're going to retroactively detruth it.
It would be good for it not to be true, but guess what?
Yeah, I know.
I never had a newspaper near me that carried Love Is, thankfully.
Yeah, no, me neither.
You know, I saw Love Is collections at bookstores, because I used to hang out at bookstores as a kid. And that was always kind of like, what am I even looking at? I mean, I like the fact that I can absolutely shock no one and be like, I used to hang out at bookstores when I was a kid.
I mean, like, if you want to surprise me, dude.
Who would have ever guessed?
Yeah. Like, if the goal was to surprise me, you could have told me that, you were, really into skateboarding. Or something like that.
You know, interestingly enough, I was into skateboarding, but in the capacity that I could not actually skateboard. It was, one of those, things that cool kids do, so you, look into it and you be like, oh, man, when I get good at skateboarding, I'm totally gonna get one of these boards. And just, you never get good at skateboarding.
I knew how to skateboard, and skateboarded on a daily basis. I didn't do any tricks or anything. It was purely for transportation, but it was awesome transportation.
Yes. You know, I had a skateboard, and I could, go around the block with it, but, I was never able to do anything remotely
I would
interesting.
I literally went everywhere on my college campus on skateboard, including one day when I had to do a job interview fair and stuff. So I was wearing like a suit and tie and still skateboarding around.
Now see
Well,
How
that
often did someone scream, "Do a kickflip" at you?
They all knew I couldn't.
That doesn't
Yeah,
mean they
like,
wouldn't
stop.
say it.
I mean, this is the very definition of the most radical thing I could think of, so congratulations.
Oh, good. Then now it's the Pac-Man 99.
Oh, yeah, here's some big Chrono Trigger nonsense going on.
Yeah.
You can stand in front of a mirror and do poses.
Just wiggling.
That is some extremely Chrono Trigger shit.
Like, we recognize that these sprites can do things, and you will enjoy it.
It's not like inherently Chrono Trigger so much as it is. No, it's very Chrono
Attention
Trigger.
to detail.
Chrono Trigger had like very loving attention to detail all over the fucking place.
Chrono Trigger loved the sprite animations.
Yeah, and it had
Yeah.
the occasional bits where you would, like, you know, like the dancing area or whatever. It's like press Y to do, like, your victory dance.
Like they went as far as they fucking could with, you know, with fucking. I can't think. My brain's too gone. Sorry. I'm not even fucking sorry. That was a lie. I said sorry and I didn't mean it.
Pac-Man 99 looks kind of fun.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
So the new like Switch Online Battle Royale thing that they're putting up in like a day.
So,
Oh,
like,
yeah, neat.
like Mario 35, but with Pac-Man.
You basically, like, as you eat ghosts, you create like jammer Pac-Mans that like make certain portions of the maze slower to move through.
That's pretty cool. Good way to go about it, I think.
And you can, of course, like also spawn in like certain amounts of ghosts. There seems to be some Champion Edition stuff in there as well. So yeah, I don't know, looks fun.
I'm glad they finally found a way to make Pac-Man quote-unquote sequels that aren't terrible.
Can't believe you'd say this about Hello Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man 2 is devastated by your hateful statements.
Now Pac-Man's going to be depressed.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to
He's not going to be able to get anything
shoot
done.
with the slingshot until he
I
gets
was
angry.
about to say.
That opens up like a secret minecart level that sucks.
That was a weird game.
You
It's
think?
such a fucking weird game.
Did we do anything that's not going to activate the next part before I look at a damn fact?
I'd love to see like the speed run of Pac-Man 2, but the thing is, I want the speed run of Pac-Man 2 to like go all in on all the stupid weird shit in the game, and obviously they skip all that because it takes forever.
Well,
So I suppose what I truly want is the 100% speedrun of Pac-Man 2, where it just does all the stupid weird shit as efficiently as possible.
and if memory serves, I believe no one has ever actually 100%ed Pac-Man 2 because there's still animations that are known to be in that game, but nobody's found what activates them.
It might just be dummied out, but you know what? You're right.
Nobody believes that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's like that. It's like how the fish plays Pokemon found a brand new glitch by being a fish.
Good job, Fish.
I'm
Could have
proud.
done without you, Fish.
Alright, Shevat.
Burn, 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 burn.
Go to... No, that's... Okay. Okay, I'm just looking at what I gotta do. A fishing game. No, we're not doing that. Take a walk around. And then head for the Alpha Aura.
Ora.
Aurora.
Ring. Choo choo. Side quest. Choo Choo Lounge. Apparently thread. The save point. Meh. For a town exit, you'll find a circular lift around the edge of the walkway. It leads down to the ruins of a house. What? No, we're supposed to...
We've reached the thrilling guide reading portion.
Apparently, apparently looking at that rocking horse... Okay, so I was supposed to interact with a rocking horse that I'm pretty sure I clicked on, but I guess I didn't click on the right part of it or something.
The rocking horse is just foreshadowing.
Sounds both
chair.
real and true, and not bullshit.
All right, let's try to get back.
A lot of RPGs of this era have some real weird event flagging.
Hey, Squid, what's up? Oh, okay. Makes sense. Alright. But make sure you call the family, like, you know.
Well, I was going to say, like, words there for this scholarship. So it's
I gotta go find that rocking horse again.
Cool. I love.
Yeah, this is definitely, like, in a manner of speaking...
Sorry, I was talking to my wife.
That's quite alright. This is definitely the reason, like, fax were invented back in the day, because it was definitely, like, click on this pixel to proceed, or just spend the rest of the day walking around a random town.
I misheard you say facts, as in game facts, as facts, and, like, immediately my brain just went to the Aqua Teen line. He was born before science was invented!
I just watched Cybernetic Ghost of Christmas Past from the future.
That's
great.
The best.
Anti-taco legislation. Was they dead or was they illegal?
Get out of the time refrigerator box! I will go to the future! Maybe if you push the buttons. Oh wait, there aren't any buttons.
Forgotten, like I've just been flipping through random episodes the last few weeks. I had forgotten that just comes back in the... I think that comes back in the Bardos episode.
It comes back in... Wait, does it come back in the Bardos episode? I know
he's like, he turns out to be a Terminator for some reason. But like a Terminator made out of trash cans.
I think, shoot, I think...
It does come back in like a later one.
I don't think like the Cybernetic Ghost of Christmas Past from the future shows up again. I think it's more just like, what's fucking happened?
I thought he did come back for an episode.
He shows up at the very end of at least one episode.
He shows up all over the place. I know he shows up in the Larry Miller hair system, which is...
Oh, that one's incredible.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
That's a really dark episode.
Oh yeah, like just entirely on its own level. We had fun today. Thanks,
I gotta gamble.
I guess I couldn't have done it without you.
Did either of you catch the new Bird Girl pilot?
No, I've
not seen it. I have not watched it yet.
I have found seen it quite amusing.
Like show up in recommendations.
Is it?
I mean, it's definitely funny. It unfortunately, I mean, it's definitely a half-hour episode, and I feel like old Birdman's strength was being, 12 minutes long and just doing its best to cram.
So is this like what they're doing? Is this like a spin-off of Harvey Birdman or something?
Yes, it's
okay.
Bird Girl taking over for Phil Cansett.
Are they going to have Birdman back? I mean, they already sort of did that in Birdman itself. Birdman's amazing, but parts of it have not aged well. Probably because it was made as a commentary on George Bush era politics.
Black Swat Flag.
Yeah. So, you know, like, that's not going to be an eternal thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Birdman premiered 21 years ago.
Yeah, damn.
Yep.
It was year 2000.
We are old as shit.
Remember when Capcom made a Harvey Birdman attorney at Law Games?
Yes, I
Or
actually
excuse
have
me,
that.
they published it.
I think I have it on Wii, isn't it?
Yeah, it came out on Wii, PS2, and PSP because that was the era where you would do that.
That very brief moment in time.
You could play that and Medal of Honor Heroes 2 for some reason, and all other weird things that only appeared in those big platforms.
There was like a Family Guy game. Wasn't that like across those, or am I misremembering?
That showed up on some other things as well, I think. Remember Family Guy Online, the MMO?
I try not to.
Like my brain can scarcely fathom that had to enter like open beta before they were like, what the hell are we doing, and canceled it.
Well, I mean, that is the exact kind of thing that today would just be a gacha game. Like, that was
Oh,
thinking.
God.
That would absolutely be it.
Well, I mean,
Back
apparently
in the day,
there's a Looney
back in the
Tunes
day,
gacha.
everybody. Back in the day, the goal was to just make the next fucking World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft made a shit ton of money, and everybody's like, well, we can make a shit ton of money too, and nobody did. Nowadays, it's the gachas, and the gachas seem to actually be sticking around, much to my chagrin.
Well, I mean, it's just
immoral
going to
and needs to be
become.
legislated out of
Oh,
existence.
gachas are absolutely more. Gachas are absolutely fucking evil. There's no way to describe gachas that other than evil.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's basically just going to become another genre, unfortunately, assuming it isn't made illegal.
I would hope it's made illegal before too long, because it really should be illegal. There's no getting around how badly it needs to be illegal.
I mean,
So,
particularly with
fundamentally
the
immoral.
talk of non-fungible tokens and what have you recently, I feel like the gacha is the actual way you just make money off of JPEGs, because that's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah. There's nothing good, or even justifiable about gachas.
Agreed.
So what's happening in the game right now? Just to keep the audience up to
We
date?
finally caught up with the queen, who has revealed that she's 500 years old. And
Oh, good on her.
she was involved in a war from 500 years ago. And Faye's like, well, okay, you guys are obviously fighting the bad guys, but how do we know you're not also bad guys?
I mean, like,
she-
you know,
her
good
response
point.
is, well, why don't you walk around town and talk to all the NPCs?
So tell me about the Zeal civilization.
God. I mean, her name's Zephyr, come on. I mean,
Should
again,
ask after where Shala is.
yeah, it's neat how, in a lot of ways, Xenogears has the same beats as Chrono Trigger, but does it without the time travel and just has a bunch of immortals running around. Like, the time will come to you.
Like, you don't get to, like, there's immortal people and reincarnation happening, and that's how it works.
Yeah, like, one way or another, the different time periods come to you.
Hmm.
It's like, no, there's no time travel, this is totally different.
Unrelated
All this is
video
just happening concurrently. You just have to live with it.
Ba, 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 ba.
I mean, it is. They do repeatedly use narrative tricks, like the Zebulum 2,000 years ago civilization is in ruins, but there's still some technology left over. This is a group of literal immortals running around, like, and living in the sky, which is why they're not discovered. Like, it's not all the same thing, which is, there's something to that. And Maria's like, hey, join our side. Like, what the hell else are you doing? Like, at best at this point, I think the only sort of goal we have is to get Esmeralda back? Is that it?
I really could use one of the people we know that has more of the plot committed to memory.
Yes, where Kishi go?
Kishi's busy right now. Or
God damn it.
in.
I mean, I think that's, like, because this is definitely something the old RPGs did, wherein, like, you kind of sort of have a reason to be doing what you're doing, but by the same token, more or less you are playing a video game, so you're going to the next town because you're going to the next town. Because, like, literally the entire reason we came here was, like, we saw these other guys fighting Solaris, and so they're probably on our side. And now we get here and we're like, well, I don't know if I really want to be on your side. It's like, alright, I guess. That's cool. Thanks for visiting this place from Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, I do love visiting places in FF9.
Like, this whole balcony reminds me of, like, Dagger and Zidane hanging out.
I just want to go to Trino now.
I don't actually know why we're on this tower. And I'm not going to ask anyone to fill me in. I'm just going to roll with it, you know, it's cool.
Yeah, we basically just went there because I'm now deathly afraid of not talking to the right character to make the plot progress.
We're trying to be at least smoothly progressing through this game.
Yes.
Sounds unlikely.
Please wait 5 minutes while I go and check a fact. And I had already thought I did what I was supposed to do, but I apparently didn't talk to the rocking chair. I mean, that was always the kind of the thing with these, like, plot flags, was that, like, you'd go into a room that's completely empty, you'd think you clicked on everything in the room, but by click I mean, you know, hit X, whatever.
Yeah,
but,
press A next to everything.
But if you missed what you were supposed to, then, like, was there ever any reason to come back to that room?
That's why I always appreciated the games that had, like, simpler event flags, where, like, if you were interacting with something that would move things along, like, your characters would all start talking rather than just, like, oh, well, that's what you needed to see, I guess.
Yeah, well, God, was it Final Fantasy VIII, or am I thinking of Final Fantasy X, which would have you walking by a treasure chest on the map and your character would literally turn their head?
That seems much more like a technological development from FF10.
Yeah, no, probably. But there's
I don't think I ever even noticed that.
I want to say it was 10, but maybe I'm thinking of, like, not even a Final Fantasy game, but there was definitely
I remember one of the
them.
big things that, like, Nintendo touted as, like, a benefit of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker was that the art was more expressive, so they could hint at things by having Link, like, stare at them.
Yeah, Link's eyes would move, and you could actually see them moving.
And, like, but they would, like, light upon specific things in the environment that were important.
Yeah. Like, he would be like, hey, what's that?
Dang it. Blunk.
Oh, God. The choo-choo says that we're all, like, shattered fragments of a mirror.
That's...
I
don't know what that means.
I always hate it when when the fucking mascot character gets, like, philosophical with me. I don't have time in the day for that shit.
It means I think the theme of Xenogears is, what is it, like 1 million shattered pieces or something like that?
I guess, but I don't feel like it communicated anything new about that.
Yeah, I don't feel like Choo-Choo. I don't feel like Choo-Choo said anything meaningful.
we're sticking to that.
You will regret this.
Yeah, I know.
And I do like that, unlike in Chrono Trigger, they do acknowledge the fact that when you've got a floating island city, maybe it isn't the easiest thing to grow crops.
Listen, Zeal is basically drunk on magic the entire time.
It would actually be kind of a neat concept to do, like, Zeal, but reveal that all the characters are, like, literally emaciated because they haven't been doing anything but fucking around with magic all day. Like, you guys forgot to eat.
Listen, They were busy with magic.
That's why they're all wearing like big flowing robes. They all weigh like 40 pounds and forgot to do anything. Oh, here we go. Plot relevant. So we found Satan's wife, and she just lives in a flying fortress in the sky. And the first thing she says is, "Oh, didn't I tell you all that time when we were living in a pastoral village that I lived in a flying castle in the sky?" Oh, that never came up?
I feel like I mentioned that at one point. It wasn't that important. I guess what really surprises me is that Satan, like, actually is married.
It's a rarity. He's married and has a child who is vaguely mute.
Married, has a child, neither of them is immediately killed.
That's not common. That is not common in the vast land of JRPGs.
Yeah, no, I feel like you do occasionally see the fighting father archetype. I feel like it is an extreme rarity to have a mother on your team.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the selling points of one of the Grandias.
Your mom is your first party member in Grandia 3, and it's very strange. Not because, like, the idea of having your mom on the team is particularly strange, but the way they play it, they're, like, playing her like the older sister character archetype, but then other characters just arbitrarily mention, "Oh, she's your mom."
Well, that's concerning.
It's weird.
Because the older sister archetype, particularly in JRPGs, usually comes with a lot of random concerns.
It never dives into that, but it is weird because she, like, insists on you calling her by her first name, which is just weird.
That's...
Is it like an adopted situation? Or is it like a character that...
What situation?
An adoption situation.
No, I think she's supposed to be your literal mom. It's been forever, but I don't think they ever mentioned that you're adopted.
Because I feel like that's the reason we don't see it often in, like, JRPGs and the like, because they do generally try to have, like, the sort of idea that you can habitate this character, and if the mom or a parent is very well defined, then it makes it harder to, act like it's the same, because my mom's just like that is kind of a rarity with JRPG characters, which I feel like is a significant reason for why they kill the parents, because it's very easy to understand, oh, this person lost a parent that they care about, as opposed to, oh, this person's mom wants to be called by their first name. That's very easy to understand.
Meanwhile, the mom in Grandia 1 fucking owns.
Mom in Grandia 1 is great.
Just a former pirate settled down to run a restaurant.
Yep.
Met the main character's dad by boarding the ship that he was on and trying to steal, like, a magic rock that he was holding, but respected the fact that he responded with a sword pointed at his neck while refusing to give it up, and was like, "Yeah, sure, you seem cool." Stuffs a poignant letter in the main character's back pocket when he leaves home, without him ever noticing, because he's a real dumbass.
Yeah, he's so stupid. It rules. I miss.
Like, he's not the irritating kind of stupid. He's just, like, too enthused to notice things.
Yeah, he's just really happy to be here. So it's super easy to slip stuff past him because he just isn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So Goku.
I love Grandia 1.
Yeah, basically.
Grandia 1's so good.
I like the hero archetype of they're easy to trick because they're not paying attention.
Did you ever play Grandia on Gogglebob?
You know, I played Grandia 2, but not 1.
One's really good. I recommend it.
What was that? PlayStation?
PlayStation and
PlayStation
Saturn.
and Saturn. I don't think it was released in the States on Saturn, though.
I was about to say, I'm
It
not
was not.
holding my breath on the Saturn version.
Yeah, it was like I think there's a fan translation. Well, not a quote-unquote fan translation. I believe it's just a hack to put PS1 localization into the Saturn version, but it's one of those things like the PS1 version is fine. Like, it's got a very of-the-time localization, but it's understandable.
Yeah, there's no point, and I having played it recently on the Switch release. I believe they didn't change any of the localization, and it was fine. It was fine.
The PS1 version has a lot more slowdown than the Switch version, but
well, there you go.
It's pretty new.
Meanwhile, the Switch version of Grandia 2 had such bad slowdown I couldn't even play it.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. I think it's because from what I can tell, it's because the PC version added in this really odd-looking real-time lighting that I don't know why it's there, but it seems to just chug.
Yeah, it'll just the frame rate will just tank all the time, and if it's something as simple as the lighting, because it's
because the lighting is really off-looking in a way that I don't even like the new lighting just because it doesn't look right.
Yeah, if there's something they can remove, I would say remove it. I don't know why they didn't just port the Dreamcast version, which runs at 60 frames per second, I believe.
Yeah, and you'll find places where the reason I blame it on the lighting is you will find places where there is no real-time lighting and it runs fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first area had none of that.
The first town is really bad because it has all this real-time lighting, and it's just this one's shit. Huh? Say what?
You robot it out for me. I have no idea what you just said. Oh yeah, okay. Now.
I was just saying that the first town I think has a ton of the real-time lighting and it just runs like shit. But you'll get into certain dungeons where it's it's just always cast over. There's no real-time lighting at all, and it runs perfectly. And it's just why? Was that enemy?
Yes, things are finally happening.
It's something that would be more interesting if you weren't streaming it in this case, because it's I like exploring places that are flying and weird looking.
I mean, I really like the area that we were outside where I was looking for something to do. But this immediate area is very much just kind of a few hallways with NPCs and characters talking extremely cryptically about something you're going to find out more information about. Obviously, I know what they're all alluding to at this point, but a lot of them are oh, you kind of look like this girl from 500 years ago, and she may or may not have been kept in a cage, but we're not going to say exactly what that means. And this
Born on a mountain, raised in a cage.
Yeah, and this is also one of those bits where it's kind of the JRPG is showing its age, because Ellie is in your team or can be in your team, and characters make references to the Holy Mother that Ellie is the exact duplicate of. But Ellie's just dum-de-dum, that's nice that you're talking about this.
Can't say I noticed.
I feel like there would be more jibber-jabber if it was a modern JRPG with her being what do you mean I look like somebody?
Jibber-jabber the Hutt.
Yes. I was watching Spaceballs over Easter. It was Pizza the Hut. Miss that guy.
Everybody loves Pizza the Hut.
So what do we say? Do I take Billy with me or Ellie?
Let's go with Ellie.
So,
I can't honestly say I'm invested enough to have an opinion.
Yeah, we'll have Faye, Ellie, and Now Maria with the ultimate bait and switch of this game.
You've been tricked.
Yeah, Maria is... I mean, spoilers, but her whole deal is that on foot she is absolutely terrible. But when she is in her robot, she is a beast.
Captain's a mystic adventure.
I'm reasonably certain that's the plot to Code Geass. I have never watched that
possibly.
show, and I never will.
We can't disprove it.
Yeah, exactly.
A quest for Rotan.
Immediate moment, I'm just trying to find something I can equip her with so she won't be immediately killed.
I do love getting immediately killed.
Getting immediately killed rules. We should all get immediately killed more.
I
I
really
feel like your
have
character
to...
should get a huge stab boost for holding a doll of themselves.
Alright, let's just go with that. Let's go, Maria. Oh, also the old school JRPG trick of, oh, can we just ask you to leave one of your party members behind to protect the queen? Because you can't actually have a battle party of more than 3 people. We don't have an excuse for why that would be right now.
I like how Final Fantasy IX retroactively gave all of them an excuse by making players loading in 4 characters in 3D was a bad idea.
Yes. We all learned a valuable lesson.
I hope you enjoy a 20-second long preamble to every single battle.
God.
I love FF9, but it's a very slow game.
You know, it was actually funny. Back in the day, a buddy of mine opened up a video game store, and I put together these videos to play on the, like, demo TV, so to speak. And it was just, like, a bunch of random stuff. And one thing that I got into doing was a compilation of summons from the different Final Fantasy games. And I think I did, like, Final Fantasy VII first, and people were interested. So then I did, I want to say, probably just Final Fantasy VIII, and I think I did 10, and I guess whatever would have been recent at the time, which was probably 12. But then I got back to 9, and it was the first time I'd played Final Fantasy 9 in, like, possibly since it came out. Like, it was because Final Fantasy 9 definitely came out at the end of the PlayStation era. And if I was replaying...
Yeah, it came out almost the same day that the PS2 came out in America.
Right, and if I was replaying a JRPG at that time, it was either Chrono Cross or 10, depending on which system was available. So I don't think I had replayed 9 at that point, like, at all. Like, I played it when it came out and did everything I could, beat Ozma or whatever, and then put it away. And that was, like, literally probably the first time I was picking it up again. And I had also just been playing a bunch of other Final Fantasy games because I was getting the footage of their summons. And extremely long story short, what this comes to me as saying is, holy good God, is that game slow compared to every other Final Fantasy. It was just like...
It's really impressive. There's some pretty slow ones, but... Yeah, it's its biggest problem. Like, it really hurts the pacing of a game that's otherwise quite breezy. Played a lot of 99 and odd era PS2 JRPGs, I say, so I didn't also play a lot of PS1 JRPGs, I should say, so I didn't play a lot of every other part of the PS1's JRPG. So I was a man obsessed.
You were a man on a mission.
That was the only way that anyone learned how to play Saga Frontier. I say as a man who loves Saga Frontier.
Yeah, I mean, I am vaguely looking forward to replaying that with the re-release coming out, like, this month.
Yeah, baby.
But by the same token, like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, the New Game Plus that they're advertising might be exactly what I want. Because my number one complaint about that game was always that I hated replaying with the same characters and having to re-level them up and what have you. But
Understand.
like if Rufus is just level 100 from one playthrough, and then I never have to deal with that ever again, that's going to be a totally different ballgame.
More like doofus.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it was rough having a character that you get up to, like, you make it learn the Dream Super combo and everything, and then you'd be playing the next character's game, and they're right back to level nothing.
Gogglebob, perhaps you can help me understand this.
Go ahead.
I just put Saga into the eShop, expecting to reasonably quickly find, well, really any of the Saga games, and instead I got nothing. Absolutely nothing but Mortal Kombat 11 and its DLC.
Oh, well, I think they did call, like, the story mode, like, the Blah Saga or something like that. So that totally makes sense. But, yeah, no, that is not the way it should be. Saga. Like, not case sensitive. Yeah, no, I have noticed that the eShop has some vaguely ridiculous, like, we will sell you this game things, even when you're searching for clearly not that game.
It's too late. I've pre-ordered Saga Frontier Remastered.
Good. That is the way it should be.
Someone has to, and it's me. I've got to. Listen, they're going to either make the Salus's storyline even better or much, much more problematic.
I was about to say, I mean, I said this on the stream before. She has for coming out in I mean, what was the original release date on Saga?
1998.
Yeah, for coming out in 1998, there is a plot that is incredibly and, like, unquestionably gay at a time when that was not the norm in any conceivable way. But by the same token, if your character goes full gay as the metaphor, they become literally evil. And it's like,
But hopefully they've added back in hopefully some of the changes they've made is giving her, like, a good gay ending.
I was having a drink. What'd I miss? Also, Jeannie's in the chat. Hi, Jeannie.
Wait, who's in the chat?
Jeannie.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hey, Jeannie.
Hey. Who's in the chat? The Pope? Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
We were talking about this. He's not.
What are you talking about?
Xenogears. We have very strict rules about how much Xenogears the Pope is allowed to see.
Yes.
Don't even get me started on Xenosaga.
That's
just totally off limits.
Yeah, no, there's actually a Pope in Xenosaga, so it's very different. But no, we were talking about how gay Saga Frontier is, and the answer is very gay and very confusing.
We're just very hopeful that they've added in a good gay ending rather than just having the evil gay ending.
Yes. Your character can you have a choice. Your character can become straight and live a happy, normal, and also heterotive normal life, or your character can become incredibly gay and become an evil vampire.
Like the queen of the vampires.
The queen of the evil vampires.
Oh, well, in that case.
And there's like, it's weird. And if you just become if you become bisexual, then you just watch everyone you love.
You have a nice enough ending that's a little bit bittersweet.
Yeah. It's a weird game, and I would be curious to see if...
I would hope that among the things that they're adding is something to make that entire scenario less insensitive.
Yeah.
And
also,
it's so close.
It's always with games like that. It's always sort of like ambiguous to me how much, I suppose, hate they had in their hearts.
I mean, the thing is what they're drawing from. I mean, I can see where this came from. What they are drawing from is basically the old standard of vampires representing sexuality. Like
I prefer vampires representing class, which means I can kill them without feeling bad about it.
Yes, no, there's definitely that. And then there's also just like this significant undercurrent, complete with the inviting them in and what have you, of vampires representing, like, at the time, deviant sexual practices. And they're definitely lean heavily into that, but without questioning where that came from and why maybe associating other sexual practices with evil might not be a good look. Because that is definitely...
Again, they're close to fixing it. They're close.
Yes, no, it could... I mean, I can see them acknowledging the problem and being like, okay, wait, I can see where this is a thing.
It's just a question of whether the additions made to Frontier Remastered will fix that.
I somehow doubt it.
It's like the one scenario where they've promised additions. So
okay, well then in that case maybe.
But legitimately,
it's like how Catherine got a re-release. So deserved a re-release, probably less than any game in the history of video games. I still can't believe that like people actually thought, this is proof the games are art when it came out, and then like looking back on it, it's just the most horrifyingly dated sexist shit.
Well, I mean,
man, it did not age well.
I don't know if anybody, well, I mean, I'm sure people were, but there is like the whole games is art thing, but I feel like a significant part of that was people were so used to the Persona series where you're just continually stuck as a teenager. This was one of the few games that came out where you're actually quote-unquote an adult as opposed to, Japanese high school. But regardless, it's still stupid.
Oh yeah, no, it's just dreadful. But like, they added a whole other character, and like, oh man, like everything I learned about it just made me go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It was something else. It was some next level shit.
Yeah, well, they tried to do a whole trans panic thing with it, but they made it into just like the character involved turns out to be an alien, but they're teasing
an alien who identifies as male. I feel like that shouldn't be overlooked.
And this was the game that initially had a character who was trans, and they did nothing but fuck with her.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking terrible all around, just start to end. Even like and that's all overlooking the basic core plot is that you have to gaslight your fiance into liking you again.
Well, that's the one ending. Legitimately, during the gameplay, the gaslighting isn't encouraged, but the ending, so everything will be happy again, is definitely 100% gaslighting. Because it's definitely one of those stories where they get to the point where there's no reconciling the fact that this character is lying all the time. And so there was no coming back from that, so the only way that they could make that better was, oh, it never really happened. I'm sure you're thinking of something else. And that was that.
God.
So Xenogears.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're paying attention, once again reiterating that Maria has absolutely no attack value. And really...
It's almost weird how extreme they made that.
Yes, no, it is like...
To the point where it feels like a punishment to bring her along.
Which is basically the thing. Like, she is so much different from where her mech is that it's like, you know, you are basically punished for wanting to use the mech. Like, there's definitely one of the later dungeons where you are...
Don't want to use the mech. The mech sucks. We all hated the mech.
But that's the thing. One of the later dungeons is 90% on foot, but then the boss of it is in the mech. So you're basically rewarded for using lousy Maria and then having her mech be part of that battle.
Yeah, this was, like, maybe not a behavior they ought to have been encouraging.
I mean, if anything else, just the first reaction that having Maria on the team is like, are you guys serious? Even her attacks are, like, very deliberately, this is a 12-year-old fighting. Like, she's
Like, here's
summoning
some
bubbles
bubbles
and stuff, yeah.
Sometimes it's hilarious when games do that. Like, one of the more charming aspects of Grandia is how, what's her face? The girl who's like 10. Sue, yeah. How Sue, like, attacks with, her hair bow if it's like a magic butterfly critter. Or, like, and, like, all her special moves are just...
Sue is still effective, it's just, like, clear that she is not a fighter.
Yeah, because she's 10.
Yeah.
She's not supposed to be a fighter. She's 10.
Yeah, and it's whereas like this is like she is clearly not a fighter, and also you were kind of punished for having her in your party.
I mean, like, if you're taking a 10-year-old into, like, war, that's a bad thing to do. Unless it's
But
like,
that's not what the game is trying to communicate either.
So, so it's not.
Like, the game is perfectly fine with her going off to war or whatever. It's just that she's bad at it.
Do they, like, are there any video games where they actually make a point of the fact that, like, maybe not every character should be in the party? Without just having it be, like, a Dan character? Also, I like that I'm killing characters by healing them.
Yeah, I don't know what's... Like, your game is just gone completely buck
I think
wild.
maybe it's already dead before it gets to that move, so even though I healed it, I can't bring it back from 0.
See, Jeannie says, Fire Emblem has taught me that taking children into war is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's pretty fraught. But...
That's Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, like, I can't think of a game that's, like, given you a party member and told you, like, don't use this character because it is immoral to bring them into battle.
That would
Partly
actually...
because these games are marketed to children, and children don't want to be told children shouldn't be in war.
There is that. You know, I think it would actually be pretty neat to have a character who's, like, super powerful, but it just makes you feel bad every time you use them. I mean, Dragon Quarter kind of did that.
Just the entire, like, D ratio?
Yes, exactly.
What is the D ratio? I haven't played Dragon Quarter.
Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter's gimmick is that your character can essentially, like, use magical dragon powers, but if they ever hit 100%, it's game over.
Because they will turn into a dragon that literally destroys everyone and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you kind of want to avoid that.
Yeah, so, like, you have to carefully manage how much you tap into those dragon powers over the course of the game. It helps that it's only like 15 hours long.
And also, to be clear, it's vaguely a roguelike, so, like, if you mess up, it's just like, do better next time.
Yeah, like, you can start back over with a bunch of accrued experience and such. It's not really a roguelike, because, like, the dungeons aren't random, but...
Yeah, vaguely a roguelike. It has
It has elements of such things.
It's
entire-
makes sense.
The entire scenario overlay system is actually very similar to how Dead Rising 1 and 2 work.
If you played either of those.
Also, I'm convinced that scenario overlay was chosen just because it allowed them to abbreviate it to SOL.
Yeah, SOL is how I would describe most of the characters as weapons.
Kid out of luck.
I love Dragon Quarter. I think that game's incredible.
Yeah, I do have to say, as a dedicated Breath of Fire fan, I feel vaguely upset that they forsook so much of what made the previous games interesting. But taken on its own, Dragon Quarter is pretty amazing.
As a non-Breath of Fire fan, I felt that all the other games were profoundly uninteresting. I was so glad that they finally made like a game that had an identity.
I mean, that's the thing. I really felt like the Breath of Fire games did have an identity, because like all of the first 4 worlds, like really, like, I mean, and of course this is definitely something that your mileage may vary, but the Breath of Fire worlds, like, I would rather hang out in a Breath of Fire world more than most Final Fantasy worlds.
I mean, most Final Fantasy worlds are hell, but...
Well, there is that, yes.
But, yeah, for me, it's just a case of, like... Every time there is nothing that I can feel any attachment to in the first 4.
Yeah, no,
I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, no, I definitely do not feel that way. I mean, it's weird, but like when I really think about it, I was thinking about this with the Breath of Fire anniversary that happened recently. Like when I think of amazing moments in RPGs, and you know what, not even amazing really isn't the word. I think I would just say memorable. But when I think of memorable moments in JRPGs from that era, a lot of them come from Breath of Fire, and they are completely ridiculous things. Like I made the Twitter joke of that time you go inside of a fat queen so you need to stop God. Like, it is completely ridiculous circumstances, but it's like my kind of ridiculous circumstances.
Yeah, I just don't understand. It's just something I'm gonna have to live with.
Yeah, no, that's quite alright. I can understand how, like, particularly if you've played other JRPGs, because I don't think it does anything really original at any point. It's just a matter of, it definitely
The first
does
one I played
things.
with 2, and like the party actions, given the time that the game came out, were kind of unique.
Yeah, and some of them were incredibly useless.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes they would force you to use characters in dungeons you didn't want to, because you hadn't actually used that character before.
Yeah, and like, Sten has the ability to play dead, which is literally... It sounds like a neat concept to have a JRPG character that plays dead, and that theoretically impacts how the enemy fights, but there's no point where it actually makes sense.
Sort of like using hide as Edward. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But I mean, like, I think, is it Sten that has the overworld ability to, like, stretch his arms or something?
Yes.
And you have to use that to get certain areas, so you have to use him?
Yeah, no, that is definitely the case, and there's an entire dungeon that is in his hometown that is very...
Yeah, like this fort that he's...
It's 100%. He's required, and he even has a solo battle there.
Yeah, and it's like, hope you've been using him, because if you haven't, like, your life is getting a lot worse.
You're screwed, and the fact that his secret ability is the ability to play dead just does not work well in a one-on-one battle.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, yeah, if that's that. But yeah, no, I'll give it credit that I think that those, like, unique abilities are interesting, even if I don't think they're particularly well implemented. But, like, oh, hey, it's Big Joe.
He's just hanging out here in the vents. Don't worry about him.
But yeah, just the actual. I'm reminded of, like, whenever Pete is making a fake RPG up, he'll always reference, like, Blue Hair and Orphan Girl's Big Day Out, and
Blue Hair and Orphan Girl's Big Day Out.
Yeah, and that is kind of the plot of most Breath of Fires.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's literally just Breath of Fire.
It's like the most, like, pure generic RPG object in my brain.
Yeah, no, really can't argue with that. And that's kind of the thing. Like, I feel like what a lot of people express as their joy with the Dragon Warrior franchise is what I feel like with the Breath of Fire franchise. Like, there's a lot of vignettes that theoretically don't work, but some of them just stick in my mind. Well, I mean, admittedly.
I mean, the reason I love Dragon Quest so much is that I think that the vignettes actually have like a really high hit ratio.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe Breath of Fire doesn't, but the ones that hit, I feel really hit. But again, absolutely your mileage may vary on those.
I guess a lot of it is also just that over time I've developed a bias of like, I'm much more interested in games that attempt something wild and out there and completely fall on their face, as opposed to games that are content to just sort of exist.
Yeah, no,
to be
content to exist does seem to describe Breath of Fire. And of course, Dragon Quarter being, something actually happened.
a wild and ambitious product.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, in that context, Dragon Quarter is kind of a miracle.
It's weird that it happened, and then they made they decided to transfer their perfectly generic RPG object over to Mega Man, and made Mega Man X Command Mission, and I think everyone regretted that.
I mean, I know one person who's all about Command Mission, and she is the only human being I've ever met that has expressed that, desire.
I've never met anyone that loved it, even among Mega Man fans, so that's interesting to me.
Yeah, no, she absolutely, and she's a big Mega Man fan in general, so this is...
I feel like that is a necessary prerequisite.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it might just be her age, it hit her at the right time for...
I mean, that's true of a lot of things.
But
one thing that I think about a lot is how much that I think there's an almost natural human capacity that things you loved growing up, you gravitate towards. This was a classic, an all-time masterpiece, and it's very hard to take yourself out of that mindset.
Well, and even beyond that, going back to Breath of Fire 2 was the first... I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but it was the first JRPG that I got through where I could kill God. And, that is absolutely a JRPG standard. But it is the first game that I played where it actually went all in on maybe organized religion isn't great, which as, a dedicated Christian, it was something wait, what?
What?
Just for that reason, it was it hit a lot harder than it would have otherwise. And again, it's not something that is, by any means not done elsewhere or whatever the case is, and nor did it, completely change my outlook on life. But just the very fact that it went there was something that, was oh. And also, Breath of Fire 2, for anyone who hasn't played it, is very much... I'm Protestant, but it is very much leaning on Catholicism as its, obvious analog, which is something that I could recognize had some weird bits to it.
Also, Jeannie points out, also Mega Man X Command Mission was one of the few JRPGs on the GameCube, which, yeah, fair point. Probably have a lot of people received it. I'll say something about it. Oh yeah, you're talking about something maybe not tackling the material with the most deft of hands, but at least kind of exploding your child mind. And all I can think of is, oh hey, Oddworld Soulstorm showed up today.
Yeah, see, there you go,
Oddworld was a very formative game for me. Because it was just I did not live in a circumstance where I was going to hear a lot about the the raw, like, pro-worker anti-corporatism of Oddworld and any other form of media, so Oddworld holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that's a very unique game from that perspective, because that is not something that comes across in a lot of games, and that is definitely something that has, let's say, real-world applications.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things, like, you know, I was thinking about it, like, in the shower today, and all I could think was, like, I like how, you know, the entire game, the good ending hinges on not treating workers as expendable. Like, if you treat the Mudokons like they're expendable and it doesn't matter if they die, then you get the bad ending where they don't band together to help you.
Which makes sense.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, there should be more pro-union video games.
Yeah, but it's also, like, pro-native in its own sense. It's like, it's got a lot going on in there. And, like, it's not all handled perfectly, but I think that it's a game that influenced me a lot, and I think that at least the old ones very much had their heart in the right place, so I'm actually very excited to dig into Soulstorm, and I would be doing that right now if it weren't for that.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize for making you watch Xenogears.
Oh, it's fine. I knew what was happening. Genie says, I find it interesting how many JRPGs treat the Christian mythos in the same way Western RPGs treat other mythos like Greco-Roman or Egyptian. Yeah, well, it's made by a culture that doesn't... it's made by a culture that has less, like, reverence for it built into it, so it's like, this is something we can use. Which is useful, instructive to us as Western audiences for what our handling of many religions looks like.
Yeah, kind of.
And even beyond that, I mean, in a manner of speaking, and I have not been to Japan, so I'm assuming this to be the case, but I would assume that there are not people walking around Japan trying to tell you about the glory of Thor and how you're supposed to believe in the one true Odin or something like that. I feel like
you will find some random cultists, according to my brother, who has been in Japan.
Oh, well, then there you go. But
not specifically of Thor. They'll just be of, like, New Age cults.
I hate to refer to the religion that I actually believe in as such, but I mean, I could easily see somebody seeing essentially Western culture and specifically Christianity as essentially a threat, because it's a very encroaching and, like, hey, believe in this or you are literally going to hell, kind of has a very distinct tone if it's not something you're going in on.
Yeah, it's very important to be able to look at your own beliefs and acknowledge what they look like when people don't believe the same thing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, well, I mean, in a manner of speaking, and we referenced this earlier in the stream, it's sort of my biggest problem with Christianity. I mean, it's the old joke. My biggest problem with Christianity is Christians, with how many people there are that believe vehemently in the same thing I believe, and they express that belief by, you know, basically hitting people over the head with it like a 2x4, and then, you know, passing laws that are absolutely horrible on their behalf. And it's like, no, you can stop that now. You don't need to do that.
Hey Casey, we're welcome to intense religion discussions at night.
I've been watching the stream on mute. I was elsewhere, and I knew there wasn't a big hurry to get on here because you're just going to be in this dungeon forever.
I'm using a map!
Look at that great map.
I can super read this very easily.
So, for you to already be here, though, did you just not look around Shevat at all?
I did. I looked around it to a point. I mean, we are technically we're an hour and a half into the stream at this point.
I've got stuck on an event flag, actually.
Yes. Go ahead and give away the ending on that one. No, we explored...
It turned out that what do you call it? Turned out Gogglebop had missed, like, a rocking chair or something.
A rocking horse.
Rocking horse.
I hope this doesn't lock you into plot stuff, because there's a lot of cool stuff to see around the town.
Yeah, no, I mean, we talked to the choo-choos. I mean, that's always my favorite part.
Did you go fishing?
No, I did not go fishing. I mean, I
Okay.
could have gone fishing, but I told that guy to shove it when he tried to sell me a string.
Yeah, I'm sure you already have exactly 10 of them.
That is also true.
So what conclusion did you come to about religion?
Oh, we were
Once
just
and for
getting
all.
into it.
Oh.
Yeah. Inconclusive.
I mean, we
I
were...
think that
I was
usually,
thinking-
like, I think the number one, like, take. You honestly thought we'd, like, have a conclusion on religion?
No, that was the joke beat.
Okay, good. Okay.
So how many files
Well,
into
yeah.
FFA do you have to be before you get a Quistis save icon?
Do not know, but there it is.
Cheney puts forward the conclusion we apparently drew is it's fine except for the people mostly.
Yeah, well, that was basically what prompted that
that's about right.
conversation. Was that
Yeah,
That's
basically
about right.
JRPGs that treat like what appears to be a Christian religion as an enemy may have basis for putting Christian religion as an enemy.
Like they're not 100% off base.
Yeah. You can only have somebody tell you you're going to hell so many times before you think maybe these guys aren't on the up and up. Maybe they're praying to Death Evan.
Hey, I do have one question though, Kishi.
What's up?
Is there a good part of this dungeon?
You get to spend some time with Maria and see all her cool super robot attacks. That
I have
will
not
last
seen
you
a
about
single
5 minutes.
robot attack so far.
Why have you not been
Oh
using
yeah,
the super robot
we
attacks?
discussed that one at greater length than we did religion. We came to the conclusion that Maria is bad, but you are also bad for dragging Maria into this. How could you, you monster?
I specifically remember that your whole objective in this part is to go get Siebzen, but also Maria can just call Siebzen to use attacks in battle.
Yeah, it's confusing in that way.
I want to see Siebzen hit something.
Yeah, no, I was trying to avoid calling season because kind of like the way that I have the ability to just summon the Jesse bullet at any time. I didn't know if I was supposed to have that at this point in the game because I know I'm kind of not supposed to have that. As you just pointed out, it's kind of weird.
She is the arbiter of what you're supposed to have in this stage.
I appreciate your discretion.
Have you considered that there wasn't enough platforming in the last dungeon?
God,
Right.
damn you, Gabe. I think I'm supposed
It feels like they lean more on the platforming the further you get, and I feel like that was maybe a mistake.
I mean, they kind of... I feel like they get more confident in it, or like maybe it's just the idea
And
that
that was misplaced.
the challenge is increasing, maybe? I mean, we got these guys that throw giant buzzsaws at you.
I mean, good. It's awesome. More giant buzzsaws, please.
Oh.
Ellie's get-up animation when she gets knocked down in battle.
So let's go ahead and use a giant robot in battle.
I wonder if you
Yeah,
should
baby,
do
that's
that.
what I came here for. Look at that big boy.
Stomp.
Thanks for coming by, dude. Thanks for coming by.
Now we're gonna go find you.
I like that her essentially casting animation is her like guiding the robot into the battle.
That's just good attention to detail.
That's the kind of character she's a tribute to.
Gotta make her hang out with the kid from Giant Robo.
Careful platforming.
Captive's a mystic adventure. Captain's quest for all time.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
This part
Could go
I'm
wrong at essentially any
surprisingly
moment.
adept at. I mean, once again, my biggest problem with this game, inside and out, is the gears, apparently. When I'm on foot, I'm more agile and also able to destroy things. When I'm in a giant robot, it's like I'm piloting a giant robot.
Oh, big robot.
Not in a fun, like, I am a horse wearing a sticky suit kind of way.
A quick photo.
Oh, so I was having this conversation with a friend. I feel like I'll bring this to the stream. Okay, so
Oh no.
we've got a whole group of giant nerds here. Obviously, Smash Brothers is a thing that exists, but aside from Smash Brothers, what would you see as a potential quote-unquote Space Jam or Ready Player One that's now being introduced, but with like square characters or something?
Fuck.
Like, do you
they
think
did
you
their
could?
Dissidia thing, which, yeah, no, not really.
Kentucky Street.
Nobody really cared. I guess, yeah, Fortune Street, I guess. Is that what it's called in the States? Am I
Fortune
correct?
Street games crossover Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest characters. That's like the big thing.
Okay, so Fortune Street, I guess.
But we can do better. Can we get, like, you know, Faye playing
We could probably
basketball
do
with
better. Yeah, I
LeBron
think we could do
James?
better.
There was Mario Hoops 3-on-3, which had Mario
Which had
doing
Final Fantasy
basketball
characters.
with Final Fantasy like characters.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
but like,
Mario.
but like,
It
it
was
was
made by
wasn't
Square
like,
for
it wasn't
some reason.
big name Final Fantasy characters. It was like
It was like the
like
White Mage.
character classes from Final Fantasy 1.
Which is kind of cool too, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, no,
the only one.
that's-
At least it wasn't
that's awesome.
Warrior of Light.
That's awesome.
I mean,
but,
I'm-
Get
like,
out of here, Warrior of Light. No one
Fuck.
likes you.
The Hoops
I
game
like it.
it's practically a Chocobo dungeon game. Like, it's the same kind of characters that show up in Chocobo Racing and what have you.
Yeah, I'm convinced that they were just remainder models from like Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo's Tales.
Yeah, no, I'm guessing that was exactly what happened.
had them lying around. Somebody asked, "Hey, is it okay if we put these guys in Mario?" And Nintendo was like, "Sure, whatever. It's basketball."
Sure, whatever.
You reminded me of what they named those characters outside Japan.
Which was?
Did they name them?
Oh, so in Japanese, the term white mage is Shudo Madoshi, and black mage is Kudo Madoshi.
All right.
And in the Chocobo games, the cute little white mage and black mage are just called Shidoma and Kudoma for short. And then when they localized them, they called them Sherma and Chroma.
That's fucking tastic. I love it.
They
Just
were not given a lot
more
of
of that,
options.
and I like that.
Just totally missing the reference entirely.
So it's like
Just, I have no
translated.
idea. I'm curious, like, what to... I can't think of what to replace them with.
I mean, would the literal translation be like black and white?
It'd be Blackma and Whitema.
More or less. You could maybe do better than that.
Yeah, you could... I'm just trying to think of, like, what you would do to make that work.
I have no suggestion, which is perhaps not constructive, but it's also not my job.
Yeah, no,
It's true.
that's fair.
If they're gonna ask you for advice, they should pay for it.
Yeah, seriously.
Just like Weiss and go with the old German standard, right?
Sure, that would work.
Schwarzbruder.
I forget if Maria even has any death blows. She
No.
must not, because you'd have them all, right?
I was about to say, yeah, no, she definitely does not, and that's one thing I distinctly remember because in my younger days, I distinctly did everything I could to make sure Maria got her death blows. It was just barking up the wrong tree there.
She's mostly for gear battles, which is why as soon as you get her, they shove you into this interminable dungeon where you can't use your gears.
And
And this is one of the more questionable parts of Xenogears.
Dungeon, which kind of fits actually. Yeah.
Oh, hey, you made it.
Yay.
You're free.
Only took 7 million years.
After 10,000 years, I'm free!
Yes, and now we
It's
must fight
time
and
to
rigor repulsion.
conquer Earth!
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but that will never not be funny to me.
Hey, wait a minute.
So
There's
really
no-
great vocal performance, which helps.
There are more words in the chat I can see from here that something interesting gets said.
Like I said, Jeannie likened this dungeon to a near dungeon, which is not wrong.
Yeah, I can see that.
I believe she's referring to FF14 as being a Square Enix crossover.
I mean,
Oh,
I guess.
Oh, that
But, like,
makes
that's an MMO, so it doesn't count.
It's like there's like a raid every few minutes that's a different Square game, although they still haven't touched Dragon Quest.
Oh my gosh, it's Dominia.
Everyone's favorite character that they remember.
Audience applause.
I do remember this character for some reason.
Oh my god,
Every time they're
could
not
they
on screen,
do
we should
that?
be asking, where's Dominia?
could they do that in a JRPG where just inexplicably a character has like laugh tracks and the studio audience and there's only one character that reacts?
Ninja Star and Goemon did that.
There you go. Yeah, but that was for like every character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
It's
one
just-
character
it's just like a studio
that has an
audience reacting to the game. Which was especially good when a joke had been just miserably failed to be translated, and then you heard a laugh track, and it made it extremely strange.
That's fantastic. I wish more games did stupid shit like that. I basically want more games to be bad in extremely specific ways.
I love the N64 Goemon.
I was about
The
to
first
say,
N64
I would agree
Goemon.
with you, Beat, if not for the fact that Goemon tried this and then decided it failed so badly it would never do anything ever again.
Oh, that's deeply upsetting.
Genie in consternation at the name Maria Balthazar.
What's wrong with that?
Her grandfather is Balthazar. She is Maria Balthazar. Nikolai Balthazar.
Undoubtedly, she is the daughter of Nikolai.
That's how names
What if his
work.
name was Balthazar Balthazar?
Old man Balthazar.
Old Bow Bow.
Bow.
You know all Bow Bow.
Just staying in the basement with his collection of skulls.
So, Maria's dad was working on merging people with gears, and this might be important soon, and to varying extents for the rest of the game.
Maybe.
I'm assuming Maria is like a gear human hybrid or something stupid like that.
No, it's more like you just put a person into a gear and they can never come out because they're just part of the gear now.
You're just like a brain and power source now. Good luck, buddy. This is your life now.
That feels much less interesting and kind of honestly just boring. Like that kid that they trapped in the floorboards in Snowpiercer.
That was inspired by Xenogears.
Snowpiercer was in fact inspired by Xenogears. That's why That's why Chris Evans has that long monologue in the middle of it, attributing all of his life's choices to Fei Long.
Fei Fong.
Did I get his name wrong? I got his name wrong. I couldn't even get his name right.
We've only
You were
been playing
thinking
this
of the guy
game for
who
30
first
hours.
Jesse wouldn't let her say it.
Part of me misses when your character design could just be Bruce Lee with no further elaboration.
Fei Long. I mean, if you consider Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang is just a guy in pants. And that was it.
Sometimes it's all you need.
He's a guy in pants and he can kick.
Yeah, he was Bruce Lee in MK1. Didn't have anything going on.
There's not a lot happening for him.
Shaolin? The Shaolin monk? I mean, at least he's got a job.
Genie asks if there is a Melchior in this, and also what the third wise man is named.
Gaspar.
I was about to say,
Gaspar, yeah.
we know what the third wise man is named.
Gaspar gets seen the least in this game, but he is there.
I don't think I'm now thinking biblical stuff. I don't believe it's ever actually stated that there were 3 wise men in the Bible.
There are
It's
3 gifts. There is no count on wise men.
and no count on wise men. So it could have been any number of guys, but they had 3 things with
I
them.
was about to say they pooled their resources. The most wise man
Maybe
of
there
all.
was like 15 people who brought frankincense. We don't know.
The most wise
No.
men of all know how to do that whole office Christmas party thing.
Well, these meaningful names came from somewhere.
How are the wise men called in the Japanese version of Chrono Trigger?
I think Hosh, Bash, and Gash.
Yeah, it was just like a rhyming
Fantastic names.
Hosh is a really funny name. I'm in favor of more people being named Hosh.
Yeah, like let's get on. Can we get some people on that just to make it happen?
I guess you met Queen Zephyr already.
Yes, we had a whole conversation with her immortal ass.
She's very embarrassed about it.
Everybody up here is.
I'm embarrassed for the immortality of my ass. Oh, hey, Rico talked.
Who?
It's a big, it's a big important moment when Rico's talking.
So did the rest of the party like do the rest of the Tower of Babel dungeon after you and just like eventually
It
get
slowly climbed up afterward.
No, they just flew.
there?
God damn it.
Bastards.
See what you've done.
Congratulations on Billy being so goddamn embarrassed he tells his dad to shut up.
As you do.
Shut the fuck up, Dad.
Also, I love, yes, the fact that we've got the whole party here and Choo Choo.
Choo Choo's
Choo
important.
Choo is the party for some reason.
Like, Marge didn't make it.
Marge being a party member didn't make it into the final game.
They tried.
She feels like she was supposed to be at one point.
Oh, absolutely.
Had to make room for Choo Choo.
I mean, it's not often that you get, like, the female Pope on your team, but it would have been great. And
Just
Choo
poking
Choo
it
can
up.
help Choo.
Choo
Important
Choo's not a
line.
good girl. I'm in
She's
that
at that
dangerous
dangerous
age right now.
Maybe the best line in the game.
Poping around.
Maybe the most terrifying line in the game. That gives off the exact fucking energy of the fucking I am no longer baby, I desire power meme.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen here. We have to give it our best shot.
Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Man, like, every time I hear that beat, all I can think of is the DMX remix, and I made myself sad because DMX is in the hospital.
Yeah, it's been going through my head.
I was about to say, has
last
anything
day.
changed on that front? Did anybody hear anything?
Not
Nothing.
to my knowledge. It's not looking. Oh, it's not looking awesome.
Main screen turn on. Hello.
Well, that sounded
Bye.
German. Do you know something about that?
Oxzen. Sounds a lot like Siebzen. And if you know your numbers, it might mean something to you.
I don't know numbers, actually. I don't know them in English either.
Don't worry about it. Numbers
Maria's here to
never
explain
helped
it.
anybody. Remember, the name of the
Dear
first data
me.
dog is Ein.
Well, like Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
First data
Cool.
dog. Fine.
Data Dog 1 is Ein.
just realized you
dog that ate all the microchips. It's a good boy. Or girl. I can't remember Fine's. I can't remember which one Ian is.
I think Ian is stated to be a boy, but it's been a long time.
Yes, I
Also,
know
it's
the
dog.
good choice, so. What's important is that Edward is a girl.
Forget Edward's full name.
It was some ridiculous fucking thing.
Very long.
I think I need
So-
to watch Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Kind of a meaningful distinction in the text boxes is that people that have fused with Gears don't get character portraits, even if they had them before. They're just the gear now.
That is, I like it when I like when they use like the. It's always like appreciated when they use the just like general trappings of the game to effect like that. That's important, I think.
Edward Won How Pepelu Tivruski IV.
All right then.
Just wanted to make sure that we didn't pass by without listing Edward's full name.
Obviously.
I think you actually get to use Shaitan in this next part, which is amazing.
That's increasingly rare.
He just keeps finding so many excuses to not be involved. Oh lord.
He's got to work the crowd.
Next time he's just going to tell you, "Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I was drying my hair." And you'd believe it. He's got like so much hair.
Really fucking hungover.
Don't remember when it became like a probably vaguely sexist joke that "I'm sorry I have to wash my hair" means she doesn't like you.
I feel like that has existed for a long time.
Oh, that's been around forever.
Before I was born.
Wait, can I go all of these guys? Wait, give me the choice. Can I use the same guy twice? Yeah, what the hell?
All Rico.
Send Billy everywhere.
Just see how this goes. Do I not even get the choice to equip these characters first? Is that what's happening? I hate you all.
You know this game by now.
Okay, wait, there are preparations. Okay, yeah, let me get ready for a second here.
I like the robots just politely hang out here.
I was about to say,
He's up on the screen. He's like got some distance or something. Is there a save?
Bobbin.
He's right next to you, man.
Is there a save point around here? I know there's a save point around here, right? You do actually get the opportunity to futz around before this all happens. Oh, there's Margie. We found her.
Just hanging out off screen.
Okay, I'm going to assume my setups are going to work, but entirely possible
Have you
this
ever
is wrong.
started hanging out off screen? Do you enjoy hanging out off screen?
Well, I presume
Yes.
she still has the function of switching party members.
You would hope, wouldn't you? Wouldn't it be nice if we
Yeah,
were
you can.
then we wouldn't have to wait so long.
Okay, now we're gonna see how this battle shakes out. So you get the opportunity to assign who's going into battle and then take a break. I guess
Just
that makes
make
sense. It seems
sure that
kind
you
of
were wrong.
backwards.
And wouldn't it be nice to live together?
Stop demonetizing us.
You are gonna make
You're gonna
shit
get
up.
You're gonna get us banned, dude.
I am not a capable enough
They're gonna
imitator.
bring the hammer down on us.
That gear is scary, I guess.
I mean, it's red.
Let's do these in order and see how horribly I fail.
Dun, dun, dun.
No! Shut up.
Fuck you.
I've been trying for years, man. It's not gonna happen.
Rest in peace, agents of evil.
That's nice. They'll get to say a little thing.
Dang, these little soldiers actually do something.
This seems... I was gonna say this seems unfair, but then this started happening.
They're like shooting my kneecaps square off.
This would be a great battle for air odds.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Aren't all battles like that, though?
Well, there aren't many battles that are bad for air odds unless air odds just heals the enemy for mysterious reasons.
I was gonna say, have you worked out why that happens?
Nope, no idea.
Look, what's important is I can use my dad the gun again. At will.
Believe it or not, my father
the gun.
decided he'd come back as a gun.
And my dad
A lot of love went into that animation there.
And my dad the gun
Yeah,
did not
I
know
complain
what
about
I'm a human being!
Okay, that's one of them.
My mother the car.
Nobody got that reference.
What's
Probably
that?
my favorite stupid internet. Oh, it's this Key and Peele skit. Mexican standoff. I'm not a gun, I'm a human being! I'm not a gun! It's amazing.
Wow, we all calm down and have a nice slice of blueberry pie.
Wow.
Okay. Kishi's on board, thank God.
But believe it or not, my mother decided she'd come back as a car.
Are you just going to use this on everyone?
Well, because it hits at least
Yes.
3 things at once, even if
It hits more things, and that's important. In this
I'm just trying to clear out these guards because they are blasting off my kneecap.
Fair
Whereas
enough.
They're over.
I definitely
These are
saved
over.
for this very reason. Not exactly, like, confident in Billy's survivability here.
Yeah, it's...
It's not looking good. Imagine losing in this circumstance.
Yeah. But now I'm going to be out of fuel, so yeah, this is just awful.
Game's over, buddy.
Game over,
One of those
yeah.
games where I can just... No, okay. Can't just hit select and start and be like, I failed. Thank you for...
I think it's usually L1, L2, R1, R2, select and start with a soft reset.
Well, I'll be... Nope, didn't work. Yeah, looks like this is the fight I'm going to come back with Elion. Yeah.
You're already saved, man.
I believe in you.
Complete failure.
I believe in you, Goggle Pop.
Billy, oh my god, Billy.
Is there any way you can
Billy,
upgrade
what have
this
you
gear?
done?
Well, no, in this case, it's just a matter of I really brought, like, a knife to a gunfight.
Or really a gun to a gun with way too many guns fight.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Just think what a hero that guy is to all the Solarians.
Yeah, like, holy shit, he just shot down that gear.
With a pistol.
I mean, I'm really curious how that works.
Careful aim, that's how that works.
I always love the old RPGs that have the option of new game. Well, I was 30 hours into this, but
I guess I'm done.
go back to the start.
I'm much more used to them just throwing me back to the, like, title screen. The idea of being given a new game without reaching the title screen is just like, why?
Why would you do that?
It's like in between the old ways and modern convenience.
The old ways.
It's like, I don't think a single PS1 Final Fantasy actually lets you load from the game over screen.
Yeah, Chrono Cross definitely brought you back to the beginning, right? Very much remember the loading screen on that. Okay, so... change it. Now, Kishi, do you have recommendations on these assignments, just as a curiosity?
Oh, I can bring up my notes if you need help.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely now going to put in Ellie with her area of effect attacks on number 1, but of course I have no idea what's coming in the other ones.
The generators. Send Ellie to 1, Billy, Bart, and Shitan to 2 and 3, and Faye to 4. That's what I have written here.
Sounds good. So let's go. Do that. Do the thing you just said.
I mean, the anchor is inevitably always going to be Faye, yes.
Be sure to bring frame HPs to generators 3 and 4. When you fight on generator 3, take out the White Knights first. Oh, and use booster for all these fights.
Go, Ellie. Now, Ellie should do an amazing area of effect attack that heals everyone, so let's just look forward to that.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Thank God I went to that save point. Just love these little guys, just like, I'm gonna shoot you now.
I like the giant tuning fork Ellie currently has.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
No, it actually did damage.
Cool. I was guessing it was just going to spawn more soldiers somehow.
Yes. That would be exactly what would happen.
The most outlandish thing.
Don't forget booster.
Oh yes, you mentioned that. I'm still getting my ass beat.
But believe it or not, my mother decided she
Your dumbass gonna get your ass beat.
Yeah, let's see if this does anything. Well, fix for AB. See how much.
Don't care if it's nutritious or not. Yeah, fruit.
See how that goes.
I barely remember this fight, so it's baffling to me how mean it seems to be.
It's interesting and hard the game can still be even when you're cheating so liberally.
But also, like, the hard parts are almost always the gear parts. Even in, like, a normal playthrough.
Yeah, what is going on with that? Is it just more difficult to cheat up the gear parts, or, like, does that require cheating in a different way? I'm not sure what happened here.
There's only so much you can do because eventually, spoilers, the gears get replaced. Out of fuel.
I mean, your stats in gear battles are all determined by the parts you have equipped.
Camera, are you paying attention? Okay. Sorry. What were you saying, Keisha?
Just that your stats in gear battles are all based on the parts you have equipped and not your character's level or anything.
Yeah. I can understand tying them to parts, but I feel like they should have been at least mildly influenced by your character's level.
Well, I mean, technically you can use... The death blows that you can use are 100% based on...
That still feels pretty mild.
Yeah,
but yes,
that's the one other thing.
That, and you can still use ether spells, I guess. Oh, I love Hidiobi.
Billy Obi.
Oh, Bidiobi.
That means it could mean Billy Call or Call Billy.
Just call him Bill.
I'm not sure what that's
See
for.
what Bill's up to.
That seems important, doesn't it, though?
Now, Billy, who outright failed in the alternate timeline that was the previous save, will now attempt to beat back the White Knights.
Wait, does he have a different line for each of them?
No, it was the same thing, I believe.
I just remember to rest in peace the last time. Give my big robot a big sword.
Like, one-on-one fights here is just, like, not my first choice. Let's see how Jesse Blasta does. Might be a poor choice, but whatever. I mean, the thing is like, well, it's not even a one-on-one, it's a three-on-one. But with the 3-on-1 issue here is that, like, if you decide to use a move that it turns out the enemy is strong against, then guess what? You're done.
Game's over, buddy.
It's all circling in the drain.
I like the White Knight getting back up.
Let me get back up. No, wait, I'm dead. Miscalculated.
Game
I forgot I was
over.
dead.
I thought I might be alive, but I was wrong.
Turns out I wasn't. Kind of a bummer. What can you do?
Wouldn't it be nice if we could work it? Pete, have you ever considered becoming a big gun?
No. Maybe. Depends. We're gonna have to do a lot of defining very quick.
Well,
Get
too
out your
late,
big
buddy. You're
gun.
gonna turn into a gun now.
I'm not a gun!
They really worked out exactly how a giant robot would turn into a giant gun, didn't they? Like, not
I
only
mean,
the transferring-
that is a tale of all this time, buddy.
Yeah, they had plenty of stuff to reference. But they did bring it to life in thrilling 3D.
No, it's a very good design. It's just one of those things where it's like, it is not something they invented out of whole cloth. There was a lot of reference material. They did a good job on it, though.
Alright, Generator 3, this is going to definitely be the one that I'm concerned about, because I don't recall if Bart is, like, literally, like, equipped for anything.
Do the best.
Part 2.
Typically, in my experience, the best possible course of action is just to assume that no, he's not.
Sonic Whip.
Just go in with the expectation that not only is he not equipped, but like it's going to be very bad for you.
That seems to be the attack that Gogglebot was taking.
Yep.
If you want to save fuel,
No.
I think you should. Oh, all right.
I don't think you should save fuel. I think
I
you
would
should waste
not burn Kishi's device.
No, it would be useful, but I had already exited by the time he started talking, so it's like,
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
it's like, oh well.
What was your advice, Kishi? I want to hear it.
Well, definitely bring frame HP, and if you want to save fuel, don't bother with the 90% one, because it takes so much fuel. You can just stay at the 50% one for most uses.
That's the pro strats. They don't tell you that in gear school.
They don't.
And
What
here,
was it?
focus on the White Knights first.
Okay, that makes sense. What's he got in the other machine?
I do like that when characters start getting upgraded gears, like, they're really strong, but at the same time, when by the end of the game, the characters who got their upgraded gears first just suck really bad.
That is wholly accurate. I mean, it's
Like,
definitely that's the thing.
Shouldn't
Like,
waited, I guess.
like Maria's cool in the beginning, and then by the time everybody's got their Omni gears, you're like, oh. I guess it was nice having you around.
Upgrade Seeps and Cowards.
Apparently there was a plan for a Zen Omni-Gear, but it didn't make it into the final product.
Put it on the pile.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Waiting for it?
The answer is always no.
Oh. Bad town.
Oh dear.
God damn it, Xenogears.
Nothing good happening here.
Well, third time's the charm.
I believe in you, Gogglebop. We all believe in you.
I'm gonna do that one first.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Alright. Oh, I got rearranged things. Fresh and bargain.
Well,
That's
you're
probably like some of the most like just genuinely miserable grumbling I've ever heard.
I mean, like, I feel like
impressed.
I was pretty well prepared for that one, but just out of nowhere, it does an attack that has more HP than I've got, and that's that. Alright.
feels like the gear combat is the least forgiving, which is a problem because it's also much of the most climactic combat.
Well, once again, this is a situation wherein, and I feel like this is always a bad time in a JRPG when you are dealing with. Can I pick the same character for multiple generators?
I don't see why not.
I feel like it shouldn't let you, but
I feel like.
Didn't seem like it was stopping you.
Let me see what happens here if I. Okay, yeah, so it tells me no, I cannot. Start over.
Wow.
But anyway, as I was saying, anytime in a JRPG where I feel like you have a one-on-one battle, you deal with shit like you just saw, wherein you've only got one character and they've got some sort of random super move or even just regular move that hits a weakness you have, and then you have absolutely no way to recover because you don't have a choice. You're dead. But again, you're not wrong about the gears having their own set of problems, but I do feel like a significant issue here is that these are essentially not even one-on-one battles, but one-on whatever's going on battles. Bill's defending the zone.
You're back.
And you know that can't.
I mean, at least this time I was not defeated by some random little dude.
Damn it, little dude.
Okay, we're gonna skip right ahead to Generator 3 because I don't want to see that happen again. Yeah, I want to check my equipment. Do we have something that protects against sonic attacks? 'Cause that was just out of nowhere.
They call me son, 'cause I am faster than sound. I keep on jumping around. Blue head son. Huh?
Imagine getting a copyright strike for that song.
I don't think Sega even remembers the thing.
Not from Sega, but from someone in Germany.
Stress, seal.
Oh no.
Angel, armor.
You'll get a copyright strike from someone who sampled the song.
Probably.
I guess I want to increase my. Didn't really have a name, so I'm going to assume it's like ether based.
Put in Temray's circuit.
Accent, armor.
If you just heal up after taking out the White Knights, that might be enough.
That's tempting. I'm a sucker. Let me see what I got with this.
It might work.
So these notes that you're referring to, are they just like something you keep handy, or are you just bringing that around because you know you're watching like the Village Idiot here?
Oh, it's right here in my Xenogears folder, so I just have it.
It's the most Kishi statement I've ever heard. It's the concept of having a Xenogears folder
Of course.
for ambient Xenogearsing.
So what other JRPGs rank with folders?
Oh. A lot of Final Fantasies. I have notes on.
That doesn't surprise me.
Of course, I'm just goddamn giving up. now the white knights just want to dodge, and it's like, all right, fine. And this thing now has like a gel attack that does like 2,000 damage. What the hell?
Suffering.
So much suffering.
I wish I could give more advice, because I don't remember this part being that hard.
Like, about the only way this is going to work if this dude misses, which I'm betting is not going to happen. Yep, another 2,000 damage. Alright. Yep, no, screw you, that's cool. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm dead, thanks. No, that's cool.
Suffering.
Okay, I got the other two down. You mentioned that Satan could work on the other ones, right?
Yeah, for 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Billy, Bart, and or Shatan.
Yeah, this is 3. Maybe Satan will have a better time.
How about more than one person go?
No.
That is not allowed.
My wife just showed me these things. These they're called toilet lights. You guys have to hear this.
I don't like the sound of that.
It's basically like a motion sensor that like will activate when you go into your bathroom if it's dark in there.
Oh yeah.
And make like the toilet basically like have this like eerie green glow pouring out of the bowl.
I mean, that's useful if you're stumbling into the bathroom late at night.
Yes, it is, but it's also cool as all get out.
That does sound like something you'd be into.
Not sure I like your tone, but yes, you're right.
No, it wasn't meant to be insulting. It just seems like your thing.
No, absolutely, you're 100% correct.
Has the exact atmosphere of a glow stick.
Yep.
That was actually something I had planned to... I did buy, and it did not work as well as I'd hoped.
Oh yeah,
That's my hopes.
Are your engines and frames all up to date for all your gears?
They're gonna be!
Yeah, that's something you need to keep an eye on. That might explain some things.
They're gonna be.
You just more than doubled Phase or Veltal's HP.
Yep, yeah, I think this is maybe got ignored here.
This... Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
It's even money.
I think he just gave himself 999 money. 99999. I don't know how many nines, but like all the nines.
Yes, you're correct.
9 enough.
I'll never forget when I did a Let's Play of the Game Boy Color version of Crystallis. Horrible version of the game. Nobody should ever play it. Crystallis is good, but that was not a good version. But one of the things that blew my mind is like at one point I just said, you know what, screw it. This game is stupid hard in all the wrong ways, so I'm just going to grind up to the level cap. So I did. I found out that there is in fact a hard limit on how much money you can have, since the enemies I was killing all dropped like, you know, a significant amount. And it wasn't like a nice clean 99999. They literally just had, I think it was like the max for like a it was one of like the maxes for like just a binary number, but like I don't know how many numbers it was, but it was like 14 something, which seems wrong because I don't think.
Yeah, I can't think of binary maximum of that.
It would. I'm sure I'm remembering it incorrectly, but like the simple fact of the matter is that they didn't cut off like how many numbers you could have, or just like set 999 as the max. They gave you enough digits to get like the actual like hard limit, and I still don't know why.
Simple that way.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm eager to see the difference now that you've actually...
I am too.
Please let this turn into a very easy fight.
Yes, I want to check my equipment. I mean, at least it's giving me the option to equip now. That was something that was better than the others.
This might have been an earlier stream that I missed, but did you ever talk to the guy on the Yggdrasil who is standing in front of Bart's gear?
The one who explains the eyeball thing? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
You ever thought about eyeballs?
Frequently.
What if eyeballs were bigger?
Don't like that.
But could we see better?
No.
Oh, not your eyeballs.
Maybe.
Oh.
Still no.
How can bigger eyeballs be real if our eyes aren't real?
Oh god, look at my HP value. Oh god.
It's fine.
Yeah, this seems much better.
I
Seems much more in tune with what I.
Oh god.
I've never posted this video.
Gene just like
This is like half an hour ago, but yeah.
Well, but I only just noticed it now, and like that's a terrifying revelation.
The choo-choo became like the no poem from Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, I thought I made that comparison earlier.
Yeah, I think you made that comparison another stream.
Yeah,
You need to understand that I am extremely bad at paying any sort of attention.
Yeah, no, that is definitely. I feel like the DNA is there. Okay, so nobody's doing any damage to anybody. This battle has gotten so much better.
Now eternal.
What has even happened? Oh, I forgot the boost.
Use the boost to get through.
Boost.
You still can't hit them, but now they can't hit you either.
Hooray!
It's a much better state of affair.
It's a lateral move at best.
Alright, thanks for looking up.
Not being completely fucking murdered immediately.
Okay, well that's good. Like, you know, it's nice to not get completely fucking murdered immediately.
Yeah, I completely forgot that Faye was doing 0 damage as we were ascending the tower. I feel like I should have looked into that sooner.
I was wondering, but I just never would have guessed that you didn't.
I mean, it wasn't my first. I thought I had done it, but yeah.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Bonk, bonk.
Why I oughta.
One of these days.
Stop F engine.
The fact that it is now not doing any damage makes me feel like something went wrong game design-wise. But I know it's just me being an idiot.
Yeah, I can't really blame this one on the game. You really failed to spot check. I was wondering why I didn't remember this place being a problem.
Yeah. If you didn't have endgame parts, they would be doing some damage, but not as much as they were doing before.
So, like, what is he doing wrong? Just somebody spoil it
He
for
hasn't
me.
equipped his gears up properly.
Yeah, like there
I
is.
thought you just spent like a half hour doing exactly that.
No, those were accessories.
Yeah, there's the
They're
actual
also gear
armor
equipment.
bits, which can only be done in a gear shop as opposed to having something in your inventory.
Yeah, which is understandable but frustrating.
And if you recall, I was actually avoiding gear shops momentarily, simply because there was that glitch that possibly I would load up a gear that I didn't actually have.
Which is probably fine now, but
Yes.
Is that a side effect of your hacking?
Oh yes.
And
absolutely.
rampant cheating, yes.
Or and this is also possible, or is this just a case of like the game being busted?
Yeah. No, in
it
this
was
case,
rampant
it's the
cheating.
cheating.
Process. The game is pretty stable.
I was about to
mean,
say,
like,
in general, I don't think Xenogears has any major glitches like that.
Yeah,
at
I've
least
never
not
seen
one that a normal player would ever run into.
No Moogles borrowing names from later characters or random stuff I remember from Final Fantasy VI.
The entire sketch bug.
Oh god. Okay, Final Fantasy VI, I swear to god, like, it isn't like an open world RPG as we consider it nowadays, but with so many goddamn glitches in that game, I could not have asked for a better game when I was in like 6th grade. Like, I broke that cartridge open.
That's a very dangerous thing to say about a game with a sketch bug, which can break a cartridge.
Well, this is technically true. But like 99 Ultima weapons, I'm good to go.
I believe you mean Atma weapons.
Excuse me, yes, Atma weapons.
Now I'm trying to think I think the Japanese version had like a bug where you could just equip anything as anything.
Oh yeah, because with the merit badge. Or whatever
Yeah,
that
the
winds
merit
up being
award,
called.
you can equip anything as anything, and like the best helmet in the game is a pro for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I believe they shouted out to that in one of the Dissidia games, where
Yes.
the drill is a helmet.
That's good. That's cute.
That is cute.
And I
All
think,
of the Dissidia games are bad, but that's a good joke.
well, Dissidia, like, the background of Dissidia 1 and 2 I felt were hilarious because they very deliberately leaned into practically everything about the franchise with different characters would make, like, when I say different characters, I don't mean any of the playable characters, but you get, like, notes from Moogles that would explain things, and you'd have, like, selfie of all characters explaining how to use the camera and how you're not supposed to use it during the scan and whatever. Like, there were a lot of references to stuff that players have been doing for years that Dissidia really felt like it was in on the joke, which is kind of also a reason why I was disappointed in the most recent Dissidia game, because it felt like it got super serious with itself.
The arcade one, yeah, that one's...
Yeah.
When you make Dissidia lean entirely on its kind of bad gameplay, you're kind of in a bad space.
I didn't... So, when that one came out, everyone was complaining because it was 3-on-3, or that's what they said. It's 3-on-3. And I just thought, oh, like, KOF, that's fine. What's the team? No. It's 3-on-3, and 6 people each control one character.
An utter chaotic mess.
I never would have guessed.
And then the one player portion of that is absurd because you're wholly dependent on your 2 AI characters not getting killed randomly. So,
Yeah.
like, you basically have, like, 3 lives in a match, but your 2 AI-controlled guys can just basically, like, fall off a cliff and be like, whoa, sorry, boss. Guess you're gonna do that again.
Take it on the top.
Hey, guys, guess what? Fuck you.
Guess what? My engine isn't from Dazzle anymore.
I actually installed some printer drivers on my giant robot, and it's good to go now.
Oh man.
I can think of nothing that would brick a gear faster.
I'm running some Epson shit here. You're dead. Okay, so that part of the game is done now.
That was quick.
Finally.
Again,
After 700 years.
I'm never posting this video ever because I'm embarrassed by my own idiocy.
I feel like you should just cut
the thread.
You should cut it out and treat it as a separate video so that people don't have to watch it.
I mean, yeah, I did that shit all the time with, like, my Let's Plays. I would just, like, if something was just embarrassing, I would, like, cut out just that portion, and then, like, just say, yeah, no, that's the bonus video, but don't watch it.
I'm reminded of the time that you were playing fucking edutainment games and we found out you didn't know the rules to go fish.
You know the rules, I just didn't give a shit.
No, you seemed genuinely confused about the rules of Go Fish.
Just think, Uncle Bob, since you haven't started writing the LP yet, now you won't have several updates where you're like, yeah, the gear battles are way too hard, this game's busted.
Again, I think I only forgot to do it starting with, like, the prison island or whatever the hell. I was definitely doing it earlier.
Buddy.
Yeah, I know, but there's only been, like, 2 gear dungeons since.
And you just sort of ran through it confused for a minute.
Anyway, anti-gear psycho damage.
Heck yeah.
This is...
I love the Psycho Gundam.
Wow, all our conventional gears can't move.
What are we going to do? Don't worry, it will soon pass.
We'll figure it out.
Eventually.
Powerful electrical waves. I wiggle in the air to assert dominance.
What could we do? Is there not some sort of biological weapon we could be using?
Excuse me?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Not that kind of biological weapon.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually going to mute myself on the call and just listen to the stream, because the music in this part is one of the best parts of the game.
I will do my very best to not, like, ruin your listening experience.
Thank you.
And that's saying a lot for me, because I'm bad at not ruining things.
Everybody starts singing Beatles songs.
But not the same Beatles song, different Beatles songs.
Yes, everyone choose one and then sing it.
For the benefit of Mr. Captain.
We're all going to have to fight very hard to have our Beatles song be the one that's heard.
So,
I'll just start reciting the lyrics to You Know My Name, look up the number. Don't come along, Choo-Choo, no. The gods will look after us.
Choo-choo, please.
Choo-choo, please.
Choo-Choo rolls down the hallway.
This is where it all comes together, people. This is what we've been
I wouldn't
fighting
describe
for.
what's happening here as coming together, but it will happen.
Choo-choo, don't.
Choo-choo, we're begging you, they're here.
No. You cannot see what they're doing because Choo-Choo's not a sprite anymore.
Does that mean Choo-choo has evolved beyond the limitations of the game? Choo-choo power?
I don't think you're prepared. Don't you be rude to me. I'm Choo-Choo.
I wasn't earlier, but now I am. No, Choo-choo!
Ready to rumble.
It's a very political Choo-choo. Oh god, Choo-choo's
Fanboy
gonna
Master, can you give us a Rita Repulsa quote that I think would also be appropriate for this moment?
Make my monster grow!
I'm not a low-level animal. I'm Choo-choo. All I can think of now is the one of Shevat with where like V1 literally gets shot by the mob a ton of times and just keeps rolling, and the boss just looks at him and goes, "What the fuck are you?" And V1 just goes, "I'm V1." Yeah, of course you are.
Witness Choo Choo.
Choo Choo, too strong.
Choo transformation. Choo Choo doesn't have a fuel meter.
It feels strange seeing Choo Choo's like just looping idle animation during this dramatic scene. I feel like that was a misstep.
Choo Choo has grown too strong. Choo Choo, too strong.
Choo Choo.
Versus a gun. Choo Choo
cannot be stopped.
Choo's too powerful.
This is literally the equivalent of the Psycho Gundam getting beaten up by a Care Bear stare.
She's at a dangerous age.
This is the best thing about Choo Choo being here.
The only thing about Choo Choo being here.
Don't be a bad loser.
Choo Choo's feet are unsettling.
Choo Choo is
like it's the whole leg area. Ouchoo, that hurts. Choo Choo is still completely unkillable.
if you want to. That's. I mean, like if I was like in a robot, like doing my robot shit, and like the weird pink rat suddenly like grew 80 times its size and started like just absolutely wrecking my shit, I wouldn't claim that my victory is imminent. I would be like, oh fuck, get me out of here. We gotta bail. This situation has gotten out of hand.
And then out of nowhere, Satan his daughter just decides to show up.
Just to chill.
Look, if I were a little girl and I saw a gigantic pink puff thing just wrecking a giant robot shit, I would check it out.
I mean, I appreciated when this was revisited in Legends of Tomorrow.
It's like pretty standard across like the board.
Genie, I wish Midori was going to get a giant size too.
It's the only thing that would make this all better.
Just like
wouldn't it be
everybody
amazing if they built up all this? Maria has a really cool mech stuff, and you fought the mech, and she can summon the mech, and then she just has a giant transformation, just like Choo-Choo. It's like,
she can be like, oh yeah, I can do that too.
Or just Marge shows up and does it. Pope powers activate.
All the girls who are now at a dangerous age can suddenly get huge.
Wait, is she a pope too? I don't actually know.
No, Marge is a pope. Maria isn't.
Okay. Kishi's appreciation of the music is getting me to be on mute as well.
Sally Forth.
This is a very cinematic scene. I'm surprised they went to the effort.
I am not, because they love themselves some giant robots.
Yeah, fair.
Like, there are certain things... As a creative person myself, I can say that there are certain things that, since the time you were 12, you blocked out a scene, even if you had no idea what it was going to be involved in. And it's like, oh, I finally have a chance to do that giant robot launch I always wanted to do.
That actually speaks to me on a very primal level. I appreciate that. I understand that urge.
I loved my father when he was...
I was reborn as a new breed.
I mean, I feel like this is all very touching, and it would be a lot more touching if Maria hadn't been introduced like an hour ago. Like, they probably could have hooked this into another character and made it a little bit more relevant, built up to it.
Wait, that's her dad in the evil robot?
Oh, you didn't get that?
I'm paying much attention, dude.
Her dad built the ability to merge with a giant robot and then merge with a giant robot, and he became.
Okay, so that was so he put his brain inside the robot.
I mean, it's a little bit more complicated, but yes. But his brain became like a giant jerk when it did, so that was kind of a downside. Well, I mean, if you've got a gravity cannon, use the gravity cannon.
And they love themselves some German names, don't they?
Yes, music is real. I can almost sing along to this. Here we go. Somebody got their character portrait back.
Yay!
Hooray!
You know, even though like there's like 8 or 9 layers of video game abstraction here, we are watching just a guy beat his daughter right now.
It's not happening.
Yeah, like that is what's happening. Technically not beat, since I'm pretty sure you're winning, but like, you know.
He's making the attempt, it's just that he's failing.
Yeah.
Although, by all accounts, like, I'm sure he can plot wave it, but there's, like, absolutely no reason Maria should be winning because, like, they make a big deal about the fact that the red robot, the bad robot, is, the second version, and really should be better than the prototype. But then again, you know, the power of the human heart. So remember, if you ever get in a fight with your dad, use your gravity cannon.
Finally.
Maybe it's like, okay, like in Skies Arcadia, the cool ship you get like halfway through the game, the Delphinus, is very explicitly the prototype, right?
Yeah.
But it was the expensive prototype. It was the prototype that they threw literally everything they had into, and then like when it came time to like actually start producing them, they're like, well, we can't afford this shit.
Fair enough.
It was just full of.
Yeah, I mean that's usually the excuse. Like they build the fucking prototype to the nines, and then they're like, well, we
Yeah,
should
they built the prototype, like they just went fucking nuts building the prototype, and also they were giving it to their prince, so they tricked that shit out for them. To like do the actual ones, they stripped them down. They stripped them way the hell down.
All right, I'm back.
Good
Yes,
to hear
the
from
music is over.
Until the next time Maria summons that music.
That makes sense.
I did actually do for a little bit, and it was very good music.
Oh, next we get to have Bart's big thing.
One thing to another.
By the way,
That one thing.
By the way, I gave you a rocket ship. It's cool.
It's one way to make friends.
Hi, guys. Are we not going to address the part where Choo Choo became a giant? Because are we not talking about that?
I feel like what are we gonna have?
Like it's like what do you even say when that happens? Like, yeah, that sure happens. Just sort of like stand around awkwardly shuffling your feet. There's nothing really you could do. You're like, I guess Choo Choo's more magic than initially advertised.
I have to say, Goggle Bob, you may have affected the drama slightly by using the graviton cannon before.
I had
was
to.
unto.
I wanted to see if it immediately ended the battle. And it didn't. And it barely did any damage compared to like the usual attack too, which was kind of amusing.
Here's Gaspar, by the way. He has a few lines in the whole game.
Hey, he's the guy who trained
extremely
people.
bad face.
Okay, once again, this is one of those situations where I don't know if it's a matter of graphics and reusing sprites or just everyone's an idiot. But they make a point about Ellie looking an awful lot like Sophia, and just everybody in this room saw Sophia in the first place. And it's like, oh, it reacted to her? Well, that's weird.
Huh, what a thought.
It's been 500 years.
Granted, yes, I suppose they could have forgotten.
The really funny thing is that during one of the brief times when you have control of Ellie as the party leader, you have no reason to do so, but you can go all the way back to Nissan and have Ellie look at the painting of Sophia, and she just has no comment.
No thoughts on this.
No thoughts, head empty.
And also that Choo Choo's got drunk.
Listen, Choo Choo's earned a nice night out drinking. Choo Choo's at a dangerous age.
Her maidenly
How old
pure
is
heart
Choo
is
Choo?
free.
Like, is Choo Choo like old enough to like go to bars and stuff?
She's
Does
at
Choo
that
Choo get
dangerous
carded?
age. With a
Okay.
mainly pure heart.
There's a lot to unpack in Choo Choo.
Choo contains multitudes.
A lot
Also
to
the-
unpack describes her well.
The incident they mentioned in passing where Ellie saw an Omnigear and it reacted to her, kind of important. It's kind of strange that they don't show that in any way. They just mention it, but it happened.
I mean, I guess they didn't want to show the Omnigear. Like, I mean, withholding your robots.
You end up seeming like they're not important.
I mean, legitimately, the entire next part of the game is telling you why Omnigears are important, but it's a thing. But anyway, it's like 11:30, so I think I'm going to call it for tonight after now experiencing
probably
the
good
great
idea.
shame of what I was doing.
Don't worry, we're all distracted by Choo Choo.
And what could her maidenly heart be doing?
No, I don't want to know anything about that.
Actually, come to think of it, I guess I absolutely have to have Choo Choo in my party coming up. It'll be like Bart, Faye, and Choo Choo.
Sounds good.
What a group.
Alright,
Three characters who have shown so much interest in each other's lives.
I mean, Choo Choo was on Bart's ship. I mean, they had to... Like,
Choo Choo just seemed like a stowaway.
I hesitate to use the phrase they had to hook up at some point.
Lordy.
I don't mean like that.
Choo Choo is a pure maiden.
Yes, she is. And her heart is only for Faye. And also we're playing the floor is lava with the characters.
Yeah, you've been having fun though. With
There's so many different things you can do in Xenogears. Alright.
Make
Calling
your own
it
fun.
a night for the night. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for watching in the chat.
See you next stream.
We appreciate
Yes.
you all.
See you next week.